Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Scottsdale Park here in the southern suburbs, or the Bayside part of Brisbane. It is the round 11 clash between the Southport Sharks, the visiting team, and the home side, the Redland Bombers. Mark Kennedy is my name, and joining me this afternoon, making his commentary debut at NEFL level, Riley Starray. How are you, Riley? And welcome to the coverage.
Thank you, Mark. It's a wonderful afternoon here right in the Redlands area. I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to what will hopefully be a fantastic contest. We've got the two leading goal kickers in the NEFL this afternoon. Of course, Mitch Johnson for the Sharks and Matt Hamilman for the Redland Bombers. Let's hope they both kick a bag and we get a high-scoring contest.
Well, in fact, we've got the dynamic duo in the NEFL on both sides, because we've got Hamilman and Payne, and they have kicked the most combined goals for the NEFL. Against the second most in Wade Hancock and also Mitch Johnson. So it's a thrilling contest. They've played once already this year, and that was in round one. It was Redland at half-time, but Southport by 22 points at the full-time bell there. Southport have gone on. They're 6-3, sitting in second in the ladder, and Redland 1-8 so far. So almost getting to that do-or-die stage for Redland. They sit anchored at the bottom. But what's your tip this afternoon, Riley? I'm
going to go the Sharks by 4 goals. The Bombers have shown an ability this year to stay in contest, but just don't have the ability to win. Mark Kennedy, take us away.
Beautiful bounce to get us underway. Turner it was. Second bite at the cherry. Miller gets it inside forward 50. So a good start for Redland as they kick to the southern end. This is Reeves for Southport. The handball, he knew what he wanted to do, but didn't find its target. And under a little bit of pressure there, Tape, he just was happy to take the ball over the boundary line. So opening exchanges here. We'll look at some matchups very shortly. Malone took front spot. Big Carl Malone. Or really it's Craig Malone, but I like to call him Carl after the NBA player, because I think he's a postman. He delivers it to his midfield with his hit-outs. And any matchups particularly that you're looking forward to, Riley?
Well, I think the ruck battle you were just alluding to it, Carl Malone, or as we like to call him, Craig, he has been sensational this year, and up against Jed Turner, it's going to be very key as Turner lays the tackle, calls for ball not on it, and we'll have another stoppage 5 seconds after the last one. Redlands, of course, got the hot start last time when they played their first game of the year. They led at half-time, but they just died after it. Southport coming away 22-point winners. Rucks go at it. Turner wins the tap down, trying to go at the backs. It looks like it was Dad's. Redlands will try to feed the ball towards half forward. However, it is cut off in dispute. Clayton tries to feed out. Nothing really doing. Well done there. It looks like it was Corbett. Goes towards half forward. 2-on-1 favours number the Bombers. Stops and props going back. Getting it there well is Barnes. Hand pass short's okay to William, sorry. It's at the bottom of the pack in dispute. Hot footy at the moment. No one really getting any clean disposal until it comes out, and Davis for the Sharks gets the footy.
So Davis is behind centre, looking for options. Redland have pushed back in numbers, so elects to just go short and wide. Has a man there. And that was Mutu coming into the side. So they advance the ball a little bit further. Shears, he's been good so far this year, to Murdoch. Like the cut of his jib. From Port Melbourne, and also the AFL at St Kilda. Short kick, doesn't hit its target, but Clayton does well. Inside forward 50, Baxter was the target, had it punched away from him. And Redland, they'll bring it away. That was Miller. And unable to take the mark on the outer side there was Southport. And that was Clark. And Southport just messing around. Clark puts it inside forward 50.
Brilliant kick to his teammate. No mark taken there. It looks like it was Manteet turned over. Lyons has the football now for the Bombers. He goes short. He finds Copeland. Short kick to the broadcast side of the ground, almost right in front of us. Finds his teammate there in Salter. To Hamilman, the man who's kicked 33 goals this year. Short chip's all right. They're going very short and steady at the moment. Just forward to centre. The kick to a contest is in almost to the coach's box of the Sharks. Not good disposal there, and Redlands can ill afford to do that today against such a quality opposition.
Well, that was Telford, and he's a late inclusion. He and also Brad Howard. Stallard and Franks are out of the name side. Southport, they take it backwards, go to Reeves. That's not a bad conveyance of the football to the outer side. They're just working it forward now. Well done. Through the middle. Looking for Mantee. Was Telford in hot pursuit. Now he gathers the ball. Bit of a waxes there with Salter. The ball ends up with Miller. Miller just gets the ball away. Right to forward 50. Hamilman there. Punched away from him. Charlesworth it is. Almost a high tackle. Davis. And chain of handballs. Charlesworth out to Clayton. He just doesn't mind racking them up. And Southport, they're going to find their way out of a little bit of trouble, although the big man in Turner can't quite get it down, but just spinning out of trouble was Clements. And Clements to the forward 50 and only finds Yagmore.
So Yagmore with the footy on half-back. That was well done from the Sharks to stop that forward entry from the Bombers, but just couldn't really transfer it towards the goals as Redlands go on the outer side. They've got a little bit of space. Stopping and propping, toing and froing there. It goes back to O'Sullivan. His chip's all right. Short pass just hits the ground. Play on. Goes back to Light. He's going to retreat further back. Redlands will look to switch the footy here. Malone's the target in the middle. Gets down well for a big man. He's taken the mark right on the square. To Lyons. Payne's calling for it right in front of the commentary box. Doesn't go there now. Instead he goes about 5 metres short chip there to Williams. Now to Payne. So Redlands just content to just chip it around at the moment. Nothing really penetrating with their disposal. Payne called to go. He goes short once again. It's just out of play out on the full. Keneally, who is the debutant today, just couldn't take the mark. And it'll be a Southport footy.
So Rob Clements with the ball. Looking laterally, but I think he'll be actually better served going down the line. But no, instead he does go laterally in the finish. Goes wide. Now off to Ruse, been very good in season 2018, and that's not a bad kick. In fact, it's a pretty good one. And Mutu right on the outer wing feeds the ball off. Now Southport, they can go forward. Hancock, right there is Yagmore with him. Gets the punch away, Yagmore, and then he'll be content to take it over the line under the pressure of Shears.
I tell you what, Mark, what we're noticing right now already is the difference in game plans. Redlands just content to go short, chip it around, whereas Southport are looking to wheel it out, to run, to spread, penetrate with the football. As the ball comes in, the ruck contest ensues. Malone wins the tap down. Redlands get the clearance. Hamilman the target up there on the wing. He actually took the mark off the third grab. He can wheel and go. He's got 2 on 1 in the 50. One of them's Payne. He can take the mark. Oh, what a pluck! One-handed grab from Jackson Payne. He'll have the first shot of the game. 40 metres out directly in front. Should be no problems.
Well, he could have been tempted knowing he had a teammate in support there in Christensen further afield just to knock the ball on, considering he had to really reach for that, but he decided to, as you termed, go for the pluck, and he did it well.
So Payne from 45. The umpire doesn't move. An ideal start for the Bombers. They've got the first here at Scottsdale Park. 1 straight 6 to Southport yet to score.
Well, again, those game styles, isn't it? I mean, we've played 6.5 minutes, but it's evident, as you mentioned, that Southport are going to try and move the ball with conviction forward, and Redland are content, really, to chip the ball around and find that path forward. One of the big criticisms of Redland is that they do turn the ball over a fair bit, but, you know, Southport, they're prepared to make some mistakes, but also take the game on.
They certainly are. Redlands, of course, last time they played, as I did previously mention, they got the start and the jump on Southport. They'll need that again today because Southport, of course, last week, they absolutely pulverised the Students by 110 points. Redlands were competitive against the Swans. They went down by 22, but probably could have been more. The Swans were inaccurate, but they'll be happy with this start here that it hasn't gone too awry early.
A couple of matchups, particularly in Redland's forward line. The undersized Murdoch going with Payne. Hamilman's tailed by Clark. And their tape, he has got Goodall. So ball underway yet again. Hall went high. That was Josh Hall. On hands and knees there was Malone. Puts it in the path. Redland, they can come away with it now. This is Quint. Inside forward 50 looking for Hamilman. And the ball just eluded Hamilman. Bounced in front of him straight over the boundary line. So good clearance for Redland. They've got the ball going their way. So good early signs for them. Of course, they have got on the board after 6.5 minutes. We're at the 8-minute mark now. And they've got the ball inside their forward 50.
So Redlands have pressed up here. There's no one in the defensive 50. They're going to try stop a Southport potential clearance as it comes out of the pack in dispute. On the half-forward line for the Bombers, no one really getting clean disposal, and we'll have a stoppage. If you look over there, Mark, as you can see, Johnston and Licht are about barely 10 centimetres away from each other. I expect that to happen all day.
Yeah, I think big job, considering the size difference. Athletically, they match up well, but it's the size as Redland bring it back inside forward 50 again. Well there. That's Charlesworth. Rising stars this year. And Clark. Bring the ball in. Clayton. Chain of handballs. Bring it through. Ruse. Mutu. Clements. Well done. Now to Tape. Has Murdoch on the outside. Uses him now. So elects to really go low and real penetration with the kick. Hancock was a target. Howard did well. And well done. The late inclusion. Howard just got the ball away from Hancock. I thought for a moment that Hancock was going to be able to take the mark and go back and shoot.
Tell you what, that was the best bit of transfer all day from the Sharks. No mark taken from Hancock, but that is encouraging as in the ruck contest once again. Malone from the front wins the tap. Trying to get a hand pass out there is Dads. He goes towards Goodall. He's swamped by two Sharks. Tries to shake the tackle with his frame. He can't. It should be ball. It is ball. That's the problem when you try to take them on. If you can't get past, you're going to get pinged, and Southport will have the football. It looks like it's going to be Mutu who can have a shot from 50.
Well, I think that that the player there in Goodall thought the first contact was high. He was waiting for the whistle as much as anything. Umpire didn't see it that way. He was on the inside of the contest, and he was gang tackled by a couple of Sharks and came undone.
So Mutu. He'll kick from about 50. It's going to take his best. He has a ping. One behind. Not a bad shot there. But it's reduced the margin only by 1 point. One behind the Southport Redlands. Have one straight goal. We've played about 10 minutes into the opening term. Mark Kennedy.
Peter Yegmore. A prodigious kick of the football. We saw him unleash a barrel into the middle of the Gabba last year. This time goes with the conventional drop punt. And Josh Hall it was, almost uncontested in the finish. So that was poor work there by Redland. Off one step, Hall goes in, just puts it to the top of the square. Dangerous spot. Ball at ground level. Johnson feeds it back. Wilkinson, he liked it straight away. And so do his teammates. So well done to Wilkinson. He gets Southport's first. They're on the board. So 1-1-7 Southport. They take the lead. Redland, one straight goal. We've played 11 and a quarter minutes of this first quarter.
I tell you what, Redlands will want that 30 seconds back. No contest at all there on the kick-in. Unfortunately, it was an easy mark there to Josh Hall, and then just no real intent at the bottom of the pack when the ball spilled, and it led to, no doubt, a great snap there from Tom Wilkinson, but unfortunately for Redlands, not great work.
Well, the easiest thing you can do in football is compete. I think it takes a lot of other skills to do a lot of other things, but competition is paramount.
So back in the middle, Malone wins the tap once again, doesn't find a teammate, falls to Clayton who kicks it towards a 1-on-2, probably about half forward. Fife's looming ominously there for the Sharks, well done there. It looks like it was Clements to Clark, now to Davis, good hand pass, now towards his teammate in forward. He was taken high after the kick. Undisciplined there from the Bombers, and it could be another shot for the Sharks here. Again, 50 metres out, tough angle. Wade Hancock will have the kick. He has, of course, kicked 18 goals this year. Mark Kennedy.
So Wade Hancock, after Ford, stopped in his tracks. Hancock shoots from right on 50. It's across the face of goal. Target there, and a good leap there was Hall. Comes down to Manteet. They're calling touch off the boot. It matters not anyway because it only just squeezes in for a score. And Southport, they'll move to 1-2-8. Redland, just the one goal. As Redland, they play on quickly to the outer side.
So coming through the middle of the ground, Hamilman the target. The kick was poor. Goes straight to Clark for the Sharks. Hamilman wasn't too happy with that, and the Sharks can go again. Hand pass from Manteet towards Ruse, towards half forward. And it's another mark here for the Sharks inside 50s. Alarm bells will be ringing for the Redland Bombers. It was Hancock who's taken it. Sorry, it was Baxter. And he'll have a shot from 50.
Well, he's not the biggest of key forwards, is Josh Baxter, but what he does possess is a good set of hands. Once he's in front, he is very difficult to stop from that angle, and you see his fantastic routine as he goes in for goal there.
So Baxter, to make the Bombers pay. He'll get right to the paint. He's put it up. It's fading, but he's got it. A sensational kick. Southport have kicked 2 in a row here. We've played about 13 and a half minutes into this first term. The Sharks 2-2-14. The Bombers 1 straight 6. Kanga?
Well, inside 50's favouring Southport 7-5 now, so not a big difference here, but it's probably the quality of ball that Southport have been able to bring in that has made the difference. Possessions are pretty even, 49-42 Southport's way, and what have we got there? Also hit-outs going Redland's way, which is not unsurprising just given the presence of Craig Malone in that contest. So good work there to Southport. We're going to see if they can stamp their authority on the game in this first quarter, unlike the last time they met in round 1.
So it looks like it's Goodall has gone into the ruck for the Bombers. Malone, who we were just speaking about, who was dominating the hit-outs, he's not in there. Against Turner, here we go. Rucks go at it. Give the honours to Turner that time, although nothing really effective. Goodall gets the football, but is swamped straight away. One of them being Noah Corbett, and we'll have a secondary stoppage right in the middle of the ground.
Turner did it easily on that occasion. Ball still a scrimmage. Clayton gets it forward quickly. Clements is there. Couldn't take it cleanly. Dale gets it out to Turner. Turner right to the top of the square. Hall was down deep, but outbodying him was Williams. He did well for Redland and gets the kick away. And it's a little chipper. Finds Baker. Caleb Baker. Still in the back pocket. Comes along up the line in front of the clubhouse here at Scottsdale Park. Going high there was Christensen. Couldn't bring it down. Charlesworth. He just mopped it up. Murdoch. And just having his kick smothered. There was Clark. And well done there. And now Christensen goes off the ground. They've got numbers. Hamilman can't pick it up cleanly. Inside forward 50. Gives it back to Christensen. Goes to the pocket. He goes via the deck. And he rolled it through with expertise. And that's a good answer by Redland. And they really claw it back. Near about equal. 2 straight 12 they are. Southport 2-2-14. 2 points of difference. We played 16 minutes of this first quarter.
I'll tell you what, in the review on Monday, the Bombers coaches will be showing that and say, give us more of that. That pressure was sensational with the smother, and they just forced it forward. It wasn't necessarily any great skill till the kick at goal, but it was just that forward wave and the persistence, and they just keep it within 2 points, which is required against Southport. They don't want this to blow out. Southport, of course, they're the second best team in the NEFL this year. And Redlands, like we have said at the start of the coverage, they're last. So if they keep it in it, they'll keep hope, and you never know.
I like the pressure. Scott Harding will like the pressure that is being brought by Redland, particularly there Christensen. That's Rees. Gets it out of the middle. To half forward they go. Ball falls to the back. Murdoch made life difficult for Davis, but he picked it up off the shoelaces. Did well. Found Clements in the middle of the ground. The run comes from Corbett, looking for Hancock, and the push came from Barnes, so Hancock will win the free kick. Hands in the back there.
Wasn't the smartest free kick to give away. He had his opponent covered. As the kick goes to half forward from Hancock, it's a contest. Redlands, great mark there, of course, from Adrian Williams. He's taken a couple of those already, and he elects to play on. The kick's a bit of an up and under to a contest. Tape gets the spoil at the back. Well done. Goes into the crowd and will have a boundary throw in. 60 out from the Southport goal.
I just noticed Josh Hall, who was outpointed there by Adrian Williams. He really signalled there to Hancock. That's not where it was supposed to go. It was supposed to go a fair bit deeper there to allow the athleticism of Hall to be able to jump at the ball.
So at the stoppage, in dispute, good tackle laid. It looks like Murdoch was the one who was tackled there. Sorry, it was Manteet. And we'll have another ball up. Turner with the tap down. Falls to the back of the pack. Redlands will try to go towards the forward line for themselves. Brilliant spoil there from Reese Clark. He's put it right into the trees and stopped any forward foray.
One player hasn't had touches yet, which is a bit strange for him, is Andrew Boston.
I was just about to mention that. I hadn't called his name yet.
The NEFL MVP leader. Looks like he's been shadowed by Rees. The front spot there was Goodall. Whistle on play. It'll go Redland's way, so there's a bit of holding in the contest. It'll go the way of Rolls. Marvellous accumulator of the football, if I get my tongue around that word. He goes to half forward now. Contest is on, and just backing back there, well, was Clark. Clark does it well, gets it to Ruse. Ruse with a little bit of run. He shows plenty at this NEFL level. And gets it off to Shears on the outer wing, so Southport can build again.
Shears in the middle of the ground, finds Manteet. What's the next kick? They're looking for another switch here. And it looks like they'll get it. Murdoch towards the broadcast wing to Mutu. Over the top for Ruse. Of course, he played for the Northern Blues last year. Decided to come to Queensland. Down the line, looking for Turner. Goes over his and Goodall's head. Well done there from Lyons to tap it away, but it's turned over, and they're in trouble. Corbett towards the pocket. No mark taken. Could have been a free kick. Falls to Clements. Redland still in trouble. Good tackle, though. Was laid on Hancock, and will have a stoppage. 25 out from the Southport goal. They are looking threatening when they get some quick ball. Kanga.
That they are. It's looking like they could really break away quickly. Manteet just forcing his way to the front of the contest there was Hancock, but merging with it is Lyons. He tried to get around a couple, and he is gang tackled by some Sharks. Boston was the first one on the scene, and Manteet finished him off. And it will be my mate, the Mexican wrestler, who comes up, the leader in the NEFL MVP. A wonderful moustache. We can go back, looking resplendent as ever.
We were saying about a minute ago, we hadn't called his name yet, but it's a good way to start. So he'll have the shot from about 30 metres out. Lions would want that disposal back. He was indecisive. Boston, though, doesn't make him pay. It's one behind to the left side. So it is a 3-point margin here, 2-3, 15 to 2 straight 12. We're into time on opening term.
Well, it's just a little bit careless from Boston, I think. He's such a good kicker of the football generally. I think he's probably one of, if not the best kicker of the football in the NEFL competition. And I don't think he took enough care over it. As Redland got themselves in trouble, but it was Lyon who shrugged a tackle and got himself out of harm's way. Now the ball's on this commentary wing. Ball shuffled back by Southport. They'll just look to try and push it to the outer side. Good kick there by Davis into the path of Manteet. Clark provides the block. He can provide a little bit of support and get the possession as well. He gives it back to Manteet. And they're just raffling the ball here at the moment between them, just racking up a few possessions. Now to Charlesworth, and it goes back from where it came and finds Davis at half back.
What this is allowed, though, is space to open up for the Sharks. Mutu will get there first in front of Turner. Look to play on now. Hand passes to Turner, the left footer. He can rake a boot towards half forward. A 2-on-2 contest will ensue. No mark taken, but there's a free kick. It was very sloppy, and Hall will have the free for a push. You could see it as soon as it happened. And the Sharks will look for their third. I tell you what, it's just turning against Redlands here at the moment a little bit.
Well, if anything, I didn't mind the contact, but it was just too early in the contest to lay the contact. And Adrian Williams, who's a very good defender, just didn't quite time his impact upon the contest well.
So Josh Hall, he'll kick from about 45 metres. He keeps it lowish. It fades far side, one behind. 4 points the margin here at Scottsdale Park. 2-4-16 to 2 straight 12. We've played 22 minutes into this opening term.
So Brad Howard, he's the man tasked with bringing it out of full back. Decides to go up the middle, was touched off the boot. So not a great conveyance of the footy. Boston feeds a quick one out, rolls. He's manhandled, and then Hamilman has the ball, and he likewise is tackled well. So Southport have the opportunity to just hold the ball up here at half forward. A bit of broken glass in the background, if you can hear that. It's not a Midnight Oil song. The beds are burning. Emerging here is Rolls. Gives the ball wide. Adrian Williams at half back. He'll just try and find a target. Just kicks it over the top. More in hope than anything else, but running onto it there is Copeland. In hot pursuit was Tape. And together with Murdoch, they're happy to take the ball out of bounds. And also in there was Payne. So we have played 23 and a quarter minutes. 4 points in favour of Southport.
Let's see what the Bombers can do from here. They've got it at half forward. They'd want to kick one from this position. Turner and Malone go in the ruck. Gave the honours to Turner that time. It falls towards Redlands though. Dads, he was dispossessed as soon as he got it. It's a 5 metre pass. Nothing really doing to Talbot. Well done there though from the Sharks to get it away. Clayton's hand pass was a bit messy. It's still in dispute. Sharks have waves of runners though, and they'll go through the middle of the ground. The big man Turner gets it, breaks a tackle onto that raking left boot to a one-on-one contest. Johnson, who we haven't really called, is led to the football by Light. His hand pass okay to Barnes, back to Light. They're under pressure here though, the Bombers. Back to Barnes. It's still messy, it's still in trouble, but they finally get it away. Except it almost hits what looks like a forward on the outer side. It'll be a Sharks footy.
Notice Andrew Boston's dad playing boundary umpire there, put the arms out. Can't miss him. White-haired gentleman, beautiful replica moustache. A little bit of salt and pepper through his.
Runs through the family.
And that it does. So Murdoch brings it in, and that's a lovely pass, finds Baxter. On that left foot, Brodie Murdoch, just low, wonderful intent, and found the waiting hands and the leading chest of Josh Baxter.
You just notice here in the first 25 minutes that just the difference in disposal between these two sides. Southport do look like the classier unit. Redland certainly, it's not a case of not trying, it's just when they've had stages to have good disposals, they've messed it up as Baxter, one behind to the near side. It could be more, but it's only 5 points the margin, 5-17 to 2 straight 12, 25 minutes gone in this opening term.
Just notice that inside 50s have, again, just started to leak a little bit more way Southport's way. 13-8 now as Yagmore brings the ball back in. Hamilman, he looks like he has the run at it. Tape was there. He did very well. Came down with it, stayed on his feet, gets the handball away, ends up with Hancock. Hancock running into an open goal and he misses. So a chance goes awry there again. The margin now 6 points. And you suggest that Southport theoretically should be at least 4-4, if not 5-3.
They've had a couple of very gettable ones. Redlands are struggling to clear this defensive 50. Yagmore sells some candy, goes towards half-back wing to a one-on-one in the middle. Hamilman was outbodied there from Charlesworth, but the numbers arrive for the Bombers. One of them's Rolls. He didn't get the football. It's still in dispute. They're in trouble here, Redlands. Rolls now gets it. He's tackled straight away. We've picked a free kick out of that. It's going to Redlands, and it will go to Rolls.
Yeah, it was in the back there. So Rolls goes wide. He'll get it back here again from Barnes. On that outer wing. Now he just pops it up. Payne. He just tries to use his body, but couldn't do so effectively as outdoing him was Brodie Murdoch. Kicks with that left foot and finds Clayton just outside defensive 50. As Redland pushed back in numbers, Clayton's just forward to sit the ball up. Turner was the target, but Yagmore got to the front of the contest and just puts it back from where it came and finds a target at half forward. And that's Kennelly.
So Kennelly's kick inside, doesn't hit the target. Great spoil there from Ford. Southport have the footy once again. They're running in numbers and waves. Can they clear it though? Short to Turner, the hand pass went. He was swamped straight away from Barnes. And we're going to have a stoppage. One problem I'm noticing for Redlands here, Mark, is that when they go inside 50, it's very shallow. There's nothing too deep, which you need in football to be successful. As the stoppage comes out once again, Redlands get another clearance, but almost the mark from Copeland. Well done, great courage, but Southport have the numbers. Davis is around this contest. He received the football now. Hand passes to Fife. Haven't called his name too much. Back to Davis towards half forward. Yagmore at the front of the contest. Body lines the ball, picks it up. Redlands have numbers. Williams off the left foot. Goes to the outer side. He finds Dads. Picks it up. Gets past Mutu. Steps once, steps twice. Smothered off the boot. That was sensational from Mutu. Probably one of the defensive efforts for the day and gives him a hit for good measure after it.
I thought he was going to be pretty clever there, Dads. But couldn't quite come off. And it was good defensive pressure there by Southport. Turner and Malone. Give that one to the ladder, who took front spot. Over the top there is Fife. And coming up with him is Rees. Ball went nowhere, so the umpire will do it again. Ruckman have a little bit of a wrestle. No clear winner from that contest. There's a little wrestle off the board, off the ball. There's Boston. Rees is trying to stay very close to him. And meanwhile, ball stays very close to where it was thrown up last time as where it is again this time. Fife again. He's tackled straight away, and I think we're going to do it all again. As the quarter-time siren sounds. So Southport, they've had their chances in this first quarter. Redland had the 2, and they've kicked them straight. 2 straight. They are 12. Southport, 2-6-18. So 6 points the margin here at quarter time. How did you see that first quarter unfold, Riley?
Southport, to me, were just a bit cleaner with their disposal, a bit more penetrating and threatening. Redlands, particularly early, were content to just chip the ball short. And it resulted in a lot of shallow inside 50s, which, when you've got such good targets in Payne and Hamilman, it just seems a bit counterproductive to me. But they're only 6 points down. They can certainly come back from this, and it is their home deck. They know it better than the Sharks, so we'll see what happens in the later quarters coming up.
So goal kickers for both sides. Aaron Christensen, he has 1, along with Jackson Payne, while for Southport it's Baxter and Wilkinson who have the majors there. So we'll let the players go to their huddles and get some messages, and we'll take a breather here. We'll be back with you very shortly for the second quarter. It's round 11 action on NEFL TV. Redland taking on Southport. And welcome back to Scottsdale Park. You're with Neefel TV. Of course, our broadcast partner, Bar TV. And the Neefel, proudly sponsored by Elastoplast. Mark Kennedy and Riley Stray with us this afternoon. And the first quarter saw Southport. They have the lead. They hold sway, but only by the one goal, 2-6-18. So a little bit of a wayward kicking. Redland had 2 straight goals. Must say quick hello to my boys who are watching on Neefel TV. Hello from their father. Hello to Jesse and Zach. And this man is Riley Stray. He's going to kick us off in just a moment with this second quarter here at Scottsdale Park. As the siren sounds, this is the voice of the debutant commentator, Riley Stray.
So it's Malone and Hall in the ruck. 6-point margin. As there's the bounce, rucks go at it, give the honours to Malone that time, fell down to Rolls. He was tackled immediately from Dale, and we'll have a stoppage. Just past the circles. Redlands will want to get a bit more deep with their inside 50s entries, I reckon. Unfortunately, they were pretty shallow and they didn't get much reward as Southport clear the football. Ford goes towards half forward. The target there was Baxter, just bounces over his head. Williams is content to see it out of bounds.
Just quickly, some leading possession getters in that first quarter. Adrian Williams, you just mentioned him trailing in there. 10 disposals along with Rolls. He had a 10 as well. James Barnes had 9 in the back half of the ground, while for Southport, Ryan Davis, 11, playing off half-back, and Clayton through the middle, he also had 10.
Malone wins the tap down once again. It's Shark from a Shark, though. Good smother off the boot there from Howard, who was the late inclusion. He wasn't selected in the side this week. He was an emergency, but a couple of injuries at training last night has resulted in coming into the side today.
So possessions going Southport's way, 104-78. Our champion data stats. Hall was at the back. He won the hit out. Boston was involved there. The ball fed back. Clayton, now Ruse. Ruse with the check side kick inside forward 50 and only finds O'Sullivan for Redland. So probably not the best conveyance there. O'Sullivan goes out wide, finds Hamilman on the lead. He had to come down to half back to get it. Has one short. That's Howard. Decides not to honour that lead and instead goes up the line. So to the outer wing. Charlesworth at the back. He just holds on to it. Second, third bite he took, but he did it well.
So Charlesworth, nothing really on up the line, so he's forced to go backwards with the kick. Mantee to Murdoch. He has Mutu short. He's got a little bit of space to run. They can create the +1. Dale's the long option. That's where the kick will go. He's up against Salter, but he takes the mark well. Right in front of the broadcast position here. Where will he go next? Not that much up the line, but he's forced to go. Williams is there for Redlands. He was pushed out there from Clements. No free kick play on. Hancock. His hand pass wasn't too great. Boston couldn't quite pick it up off the ground. It's in dispute. Hancock lays another tackle, but it falls back to Malone. To Williams. He's taken 360, but gets the handball away. Back to Malone. They're under pressure here, the Bombers. They had some clean footy there, but just couldn't really do much with it, and we've got a stoppage inside the Sharks' 50.
Well, they had the numbers around the marking contest, didn't they? And I think Adrian Williams probably didn't steel himself as a defender well enough there in the marking contest, and he went forward looking for the free kick. You can't do that. They stand up tall. The ball came out of the stoppage. It went Redland's way, but Seb Tape it was there who took the mark. So right in the middle of Scottsdale Park. Comes out to the... That's not a good kick. He was looking for Ruse. Payne was there. Diving on the ball was Corbett. He was bumped and taken down. There was Boston also. And tempers might get a little bit frayed here in a moment, I think. I don't like Southport getting a couple of their prime movers bumped around as Dale. He's happy to just push into big Craig Malone. And it was Hall that gets a tap away. Salter's there. Good to see him back after a couple of knee reconstructions in recent years. Mutu. It's it off in the path of Ruse. And ripped off the ball. And winning the free kick was Ryan Dadds. So at half back, it'll be Ryan Dadds.
It's just got a little aggressive here in the last minute or two, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of pushing off the ball. Dadds goes towards a contest. Malone can't get near it. Charlesworth, though, couldn't take the mark. There's a free kick for a block. It is going Malone's way. He was just edged under the football enough for the umpire to give it. He'll go to half forward. It's a bit of an up and under. Hamilman the target and Payne But Hamilman, he set himself from the start, and this will be his shot at his first goal today.
I think if you're looking at that contest, and I think you called it that way, is that you assumed the way Payne actually propped, ready. He had his player out of the contest to take the mark, but it was Hamilman with the pluck from the back that won the day.
So Hamilman, he's kicked 33 goals this year. This is for 34. He started at left, it bent back. It was sensational. Redlands once again kicked the first goal of the term, and we're all tied up 3 straight 18 to 2-6-18. We've only played about 4.5 minutes into this second term.
Well, he doesn't need many chances, does he, Matty Hamilman? Of course, he's come off the AFL system last year. Last time these two teams played, he only had the 11 disposals, but he kicked 5 goals straight. So in front of goal, he's efficient. And as a key forward, that's what you want. The more you can get your hands on the football, even better. But as long as you're efficient in front of goal, you take your chances. Scores level. And Southport, they haven't taken theirs. 2-6. Redland, 3 straight.
Bad kicking's bad football. There's no doubt about that.
I reckon I say it every week. Here on Neefle TV. Thanks for joining us on this round 11 clash. Thanks for our broadcast partner, Bar TV. Beautiful bounce in the middle of Scottsdale Park. It was Malone that gets a tap away. Over the top there. That was Dads. Playing as a small centre-half forward and the ball tied up. He looked like he was bracing for the contact.
It's actually a free kick.
Yeah, it was. It's going the way of Jesse Quint. I might have called Dads. I might be a bit dyslexic. It was 32. It was Dads. It was 23. It was Quint. Ball at ground level. The handball from a Southport player. Only found a teammate under pressure. Murdoch was the man who gave the ball. The tackle was applied, and Charlesworth was the man that was immediately put under pressure. Malone, he just held the hand out and didn't allow Josh Hall a chance to get anywhere near the football, so Hall will win the free kick. Gives it to Boston quickly, needs to move it. That kick just gets to Charlesworth as he traversed Scottsdale Park and came to the clubhouse side of the ground, still at half back.
So Charlesworth up the line, looking for Dale. Good spoil there from Howard. It falls, though, to a Shark. That being Ford. Back to Dale with the hand pass. He had a little space. He was run down, though. Well done. It's caused the turnover. The Bombers have the footy. O'Sullivan finds Baker. He was tackled well from Ford. And we'll have a stoppage.
Well, that was just a nonsensical handball, wasn't it? It was looking to create something that just wasn't there, and I'm not sure what they had down at half forward because I didn't quite have eyes down there, but it just looked like there was no real purpose to it.
So back at the contest, Rolls tries to go after it for the Bombers. Kicking it out of bounds is Mutu. One of the questions I had coming into this game was, can Redlands win enough of the football? They've only won the disposal counts once this year. That was in their victory over the Thunder at Alice Springs, and at the moment they're down 32.
Yeah, look, they just need to use it well. Hall over the top. Uses his athletic prowess, a former champion high jumper. Fife has his handball smothered and it just ricochets over the boundary line. And it's interesting to see those ruck styles, Hall against Malone, and Hall's just pushed forward, so Turner will come in and do the work. But clearly they'll try and unsettle Malone a little bit in that ruck contest to nullify his influence, at least to give Redland first crack at it.
So trying to pick it up, Salter. He was tackled from Clayton. And we'll have a stoppage. Further to your point, you can see the difference between Hall and Turner. Hall probably the more athletic ruckman, Turner the bigger body, as Malone wins at that time. Straight to a Shark, though, so no real benefit from the tap. Manteet towards half forward. Spoiler at the back was good. Redlands have the numbers. They're messing around with it, though. Lights, handball straight to Clements. Yagmore's the one man there for Redlands. The cavalry arrives, though. They should hold this up and cause a stoppage. And they do, about 25 out from the Southport goal.
Well, Southport, they will press and they'll continue to press. And the pressure around the contest there was very good to keep the ball inside forward 50. Malone had the better of it. Williams feeds the ball out. Under pressure there was Dads, just with the left foot, indiscriminate kick. 2-on-1 contests. Southport held sway, but they were content to take the ball out of play right in front of the coaches' boxes where plenty of instruction will be coming.
That was very well done there from Jackson Payne to cause the spillage. It resulted in a boundary throw and is back at the contest. Turner gets a half punch down. The ricochet falls to Mutu. Back to Turner. That raking left boot of his goes towards full forward. Two players fall over. Looks like the mark was taken sensationally from O'Sullivan. And he's got it almost in his defensive goal square. He decides to go to Rees. The kick was poor, but he made it look okay. And now we go to Yagmore, running through the middle of Scottsdale Park. It's a raking left foot kick, trying to find Goodall. He spoiled it, then tried to get it, then missed it. And now the Sharks have the numbers. 5, haven't called his name that much today. Goes down the line. He'll find his teammate in Hancock about 75 out. Towards the 50. Baxter, the kick was just over his head. And O'Sullivan's got it.
So Sullivan, dangerous kick, but does find Quint. Quint gives it off, rolls. Has a man in Dads, in support. And that kick is a nice one, finds Payne right in front of us here. So we'll see what Jackson Payne sees. He sees a short one. And he finds that man. It's Walsh. In fact, it's not Walsh, it's Quint who ran on. And the one inside forward 50 was Christensen. Found that little bit of extra space and he can go back and shoot for goal.
Quint is making his debut today, and you'd think he'd get more games after that effort. He, of course, got the ball on half back. He pushed up, got the mark, then hit the target with Christensen, who will have a shot from about 50 out, tough kick, but not beyond him.
His first 2 touches, Jesse Quint, so well done to him. And Aaron Christensen, he's already got 1 for the afternoon. It was a beauty too. Lines it up, different type of kick, set shot this one. Kicks it low, kicks it hard. Is it going to have the distance? No, it doesn't. Doesn't make it. Reeves just got it down. And then Hamilman had his kick smothered as he took it in the goal square and then stacks on the mill as players came from everywhere just to try and tie the ball up, or in Redland's case, try and pluck it away and kick a goal, but not to be, as the umpire will ball it up right on the goal line.
In yesteryear, in this situation, you would see the Sharks punch this to the road, but with the deliberate behind rule, you can't do that these days. Malone wins the tap, falls to the back. No goal there from Salter. It's still at the bottom. Might actually suit Southport here a little more, that it's a little further out. And we'll have another stoppage right on the tip of the square.
Well, this is where Jackson Payne will be a little bit dangerous as well. Big body and experience at AFL football. He had front spot. Turner came from the back. Winning it down there and kicking a beautiful goal was Keneally. We talked about this before the game, but it was actually touched. So a point it was. He celebrated. But Southport, they said, we're going to play on straight away, and they've got it to half forward. Barnes and Baxter. Baxter with strength. Gets it off to Johnson. Now the run. Finds a teammate. Clement stands in the tackle. Ford's there. He gives it off. And just there is Wilkinson, who was involved before, and tunnels the ball through. It started up the other end with what they were celebrating Redland as a goal, but it was touched off the boot, and Southport, quick as you like, take it down and get the maximum.
I tell you what, the Redlands fans won't be too happy with that. It looked like Ford got tackled holding the ball in that forward pocket. The umpire deemed that he just got the handball away, but that's the dangerous Southport. They can move the football like lightning, and they should be further in front. It's only a 5-point game, 12 minutes into the second quarter, but you just get the feeling as this game goes later on, the class will start to show. They are a supremely talented outfit.
Well, that they are, and the ladder position suggests that. But Redland have a great knack of being able to hang in games. They just haven't been able to finish off this year. See what they can bring.
So back in the middle. Turner should win this down. He does decisively. Boston couldn't pick it up. It's socked forward. Mark taken by Light for the Bombers. He'll go to the outer side. The target is Salter. Moves it further afield. Trying to find Copeland. Couldn't take the mark. Southport have the numbers. Footy goes towards Clayton. Steps a couple. Retreats back a little. Gets a little bit of time for Mutu. He'll send it towards half forward. No, looks like the mark was taken there by Adrian Williams. I thought that Corbett would take it for the Sharks, but Williams just got that beautifully. As Redlands will come down this near side to Miller. Miller goes short. The kick's a shocker. Johnson, he should kick it. He does kick it. You can't give a superstar of the NEFL competition a chance like that.
No, you can't. And Scott Miller, they'll be ruining, because I think the thought process was right, but the execution was awful. And if you're going to give the leading goal kicker in the NEFL a chance in broken play when he's barely touched the ball so far, it'll be a good confidence booster for him because he's been, you'd suggest, pretty well held. And then all of a sudden, the margin now is out to 11 points when it looked like Redland were pressing.
To that point, he only had 3 touches, so he certainly was being well contained. That was, of course, be a priority for the Bombers before this one. They'd done it well to that point, but it's an 11-point game. It's back in the middle. Turner and Malone will resume hostilities. Malone wins the tap down. Rolls couldn't get it out. Falls to Turner. The kick to half forward. Looked like a free kick was going to be given away from Barnes. He just shoved his opponent out of the way. And Hancock, but it's to Johnson again. Deja vu. What more can you say other than Redlands have a nightmare last minute in their defensive 50. What looked like was going to be a 1-goal lead about 2 minutes ago is now a 17-point game in favour of Southport. 5-6-36, 3-1, 19, 15 minutes gone, second quarter.
Well, the Southport people, I heard a little bit of a ruckus there because they thought there should have been a free kick paid as Barnes took the ball a little bit earlier. And again, they'll think it's a little bit of karma. But that's not the way that certainly Scott Harding, the Redland coach, would want any sort of karma to come back because they worked hard to actually regain the ball and then they've just coughed it up in the worst way. So the margin all of a sudden out to 17 points, just in a flash. Within 2.5 minutes, they've kicked 3 goals, Southport, and the ball will be recalled here. And again, you know, it's a game of inches, football at various times, and you just can't afford to give away just needless opportunities like that, especially to a player like Mitch Johnson. There'll be a couple of extra photographs in the swimwear on his Instagram page, I think. Just to salute. The ball went inside forward 50. Adrian Williams had front spot and took it. Goes quickly back to the commentary wing. Well done. There was a beautiful mark there taken by Kennelly, and that's 50 as Mutu. He just impacted the mark in the wrong way by just creeping forward. And here's the opportunity. But you play in front. Well done by Williams to take centre stage in the back half. And that was a good way to come and meet the ball by Jai Kennelly. Kennelly
has shown a little bit of something in his debut today, I reckon. He's been threatening, he's worked hard, and this will be a good reward for him.
Just the third disposal. Wonder how nervous he'll be lining up in front of goals to try and kick his first in NEFL football. Boy from Springwood, the Lions Academy, roosts it high and roosts it straight. They go to him.
Well done, young man.
The faithful here at Scottsdale Park, they applaud what was a fine piece of work, aided by 50 metres, but you've still got to finish it off.
Absolutely. They'll be a little happier about that in the Redlands coaching box. They keep it within touch. It's 11 points the margin here, 4-1-25 to the Bombers. Southport ahead by 11 points, 5-6-36. 17 minutes gone into this second quarter. Statistical markers would suggest Southport probably should be a bit further in front, but they're not, and Redlands are still hanging around like they have most of this year.
Margin 11 points. 17.5 minutes gone. Bounce back in the middle here. A beautiful one. Malone just got down to the ground before he actually made contact with it. Emerging with it was Boston. Goes high on the right to half forward. Hancock leads the race. Yagmore trails in. Pretty quick is Hancock, but can't show the speed on that occasion. The ball just sat up in the air. That was an easy kill for Yagmore just to help the ball over the line at half forward. Just in front of the coach's boxes.
That was only Boston's 5th touch today. He's been comparatively quiet. Malone wins the tap down. Rees tries to rake it out of that contest, but couldn't, and we'll have another stoppage. I remember Michael Price bringing up a stat about a week ago. When Boston gets over 25, Southport always win. When he gets under it, they always lose. We'll see what happens today as it comes out of the contest. Salter, left foot kick straight to Davis for the Sharks. Dale, spinning, turning, handball, not great turnover. Payne to Rees. Salter shows a bit of composure until the kick. And Corbett went to tape, but he dropped the football. They're in trouble here, the Sharks. They'll be happy to tie this one up. And it looks like they will. There's just been some passages like that today where they've just missed that hand pass from both sides. I mean, Southport have been the much cleaner, but just missed that hand pass, a little bit fumbly, stops some scoring chains.
Well, you just wonder whether Southport come off a big win last week over Sydney University. They would have been absolutely cock-a-hoop. Whether they've just get ahead of themselves a little bit. That's a high tackle from Boston that was missed by the umpires there. And pushed off the football there was Manteet. And the ball will be tied up. Probably a bad one that was missed. We do have the umpires advisor sitting not far from us.
You beat me to it.
Yep. They, one of them gave me some lollies before, so I won't bag him or his crew. It does happen. It's a hard game to officiate. Free kicks plucked out here. Will go the way of Malone.
If I was him, I would roost this to full forward. He's got a massive kick at the boot. He goes in the middle of the ground instead to O'Sullivan. They have two options on the outer side. If they want to go, they do. They should have some free-flowing football. To Williams towards half forward. The kick's not good. Hamilman was just led to the football. And it's turned over straight away. Cleared by Murdoch towards the broadcast wing. It's a sensational kick. Hancock couldn't take the mark, but he forced the contest and the soccer. It's a foot race. Not quite the Olympic final, but close in terms of Queensland football. Well done there from Williams. His short chip to Lyons was good. And Redlands hold the footy up. And now decide to kick again. Missed the target, though. It is a contest. Fife's there to lay a tackle there. So was Mutu. And it's a stoppage. So much potential in that move, but again, just kicking efficiency has been poor this afternoon.
Can't afford to miss targets, especially when you're going forward. Hall. Good tap to Boston. Boston. I was going to say a neat little kick, but it didn't quite find its target, which was ended up being the boundary line, but it was intended for Baxter. They're hamstring killers, those ones. Margin 11 points. We've played 21 minutes of this second quarter. Ball thrown in, half forward. Hall from the back. Taps it in the path of Manteet. Can't take it with him. Lyons is there. He's set upon by Fife straight away, and the ball will be thrown up yet again.
I'll tell you what the coaching staff of the Bombers will be happy with today. They've been the worst clearance side in the competition this year. They're winning it at the moment 17-15. That would be a tick. As the ball comes out, Hall couldn't really dispose of it effectively, but Southport have the numbers at the back. Mutu goes towards half forward. A kick that goes higher than longer. No mark taken, and it's out of play right in front of the Sharks coaching box. We've played 21 and a half minutes. We're into time on second term. It's an 11-point game.
Well, going with a extra man in defence at the moment. Redland, although they are manning up a little bit more effectively one-on-one now. Hall found his way to the front spot. Tapped it just in front, couldn't take it. Any of his teammates, and Baker it was that just sprayed it. And luckily smothered, so the ball will be thrown back in.
A little bit of push and shove there between Walsh and Manteet.
Ball in again. Front spot that time was Goodall. Throw just a little bit short there, so almost lobbed straight in the laps of the waiting players to the ruckman. Hall got the tap away. Baker couldn't take it with him. Salter got the handball away. Kick smothered from his teammate, though. Baker kicked it straight to Boston. Boston kicks it right to the teeth of goal. And it just was across the face, and we're happy to let it through anyway. So the margin out to 12 points now. 5-7 playing 4-1. Southport with the 12-point lead.
So Yagmore to bring it back in. Goes short to O'Sullivan. Still in their defensive 50. Payne will be the target. A one-on-one contest against Murdoch. Nothing really doing. It comes off hands. Telford, hand pass back was good to Rees. He'll look towards the middle of the ground. They have an option now. Well done from Rolls. Hand pass was good to Howard. They should get something from this. Hamilman on the charge. And he's taken the mark. That was better from the Bombers. They had a +1 at the back of the pack there with Charlesworth that was set up on the kick-in, but they bypassed him, and it's resulted in a shot on goal.
Well, they just measured it well and thought their way through it effectively on that occasion. And Howard didn't panic. He had a bit of time and space to work in and just found the kick nicely of Hamilman, his hands.
So Hamilman lining up for number 2. He'll kick it right from the paint. He starts at left. It bends right. Doesn't make the distance, and it's spoiled through for a touch behind. It's an 11-point game, 5-7, 37, 4-2, 26. Almost 24 minutes gone into this second quarter as we head towards half-time.
Davis goes short, finds Clayton. Leads possession getters. This will be number 16 he went out there with. Ball now out to Ford at half-back. Not sure where he's looking. Decides to go up the line further afield now. Wilkinson forced to spoil. Reeves was there. Clements was also there. Dale just gets it forward. Nice handball. Chain of handballs. Ends up with Clayton. He was in the back line. O'Sullivan was it laid the tackle. Got the turnover. And Redland, they'll come away with it. Rees at halfback.
So Rees kick up the line's an absolute shocker. Falls straight to a shark. Into the middle of the ground. The kick will go. It's hit Clements. He's about 60 metres out. Wheels and goes off the right foot to Johnson. We were saying about 15 minutes ago he hadn't had any impact, but due to two mistakes and a good lead there, he could be lining up for number 3.
You take your opportunities when they come. And as a forward, sometimes you never know when they're going to come. You just put yourself in as many right spots as you can. Keep your work rate up and working hard. But they'll look for him because he might not be big in stature, but he's full of power.
This will bring him to within 3 of the goal-kicking lead. Hamilman's currently on 34. This will be number 31 for Johnson. If he converts here, he should. It's only a 35-metre kick. He starts at left. Bent a little, but it's good enough. He's kicked 3. And it's a 17-point game here at Scottsdale Park. 6-7, 43, 4-2, 26. 25 and a half minutes gone second quarter.
Well, it was a good kick. I thought off the boot it was actually fading and going to come across the face, but it got there in the finish. Southport have definitely had the best of the half, but particularly this quarter, you'd say that it's only those couple little errors from Southport that have really probably given them the sway in the game. They were definitely the best team in the first quarter, but now, with the benefit of a few errors of Redland, they've been able to kick away to 17 points. Closing in on half-time.
They'll be happy with this. Their form away from home this year has been questionable at times. 17-point lead, though, is very valuable. As we head towards half-time, back in the middle, Rucks go at it, give the honours to turn at that time. Dale sharks it straight away. It's a quick forward entry. It's turned over, though. Great mark there taken from Williams. He's leading his opponent out well today. I've been pretty impressed with his game. He goes to Rees. They have an option right on the wing. It's Baker. The kick, though, is a bit of a scrubber. It makes the task tough. He has to get past Murdoch, and he can't. And that's what I was talking about, where just disposal. It's killing the Bombers out of defence at the moment.
Yeah, you just got to put it to the advantage, don't you? It didn't have to be precise, but it had to be to his advantage, and it just wasn't. Dale goes off the ground. Aiming up at it was Yagmore, and also Hancock was there. Clements lays a tackle. Plenty of players. You could throw a handkerchief over about a good dozen of them. Clayton shows he's a little bit of World Cup action. A bit of skill there. No winner from the ruck contest, but Clayton comes through with it. He should have gone off the ground to start with because that was a better conveyance than the one he just put forth there. He kicks it out of bounds on the full. Under less pressure, or little pressure, let's say. And Scott Miller's the man with the ball for Redland.
Token pressure is probably the term. Yagmore. He'll switch the play into the defensive square. Barnes has the football. Goes right towards the Tidbold side. Kick short. They're happy to go short here, but they've worked themselves into a little bit of trouble, then got right back out of it. Barnes. He stops and props. Can't shake the tackle. Umpire deemed a hand pass. It Lions now. He's been a little scratchy today. Back to Baker. Now what can Redlands do? The kick to half forward. Payne's the target, couldn't take the mark, falls to the bottom of the pack. Hamilman streaming forward if they can get it out of here. But unfortunately they can't. He had 20 metres of space. Sorry, it was Malone.
And Christensen still there by himself up forward for Redland. The players go back, looking for opponents. Or at least the Sharks are looking for opponents. Turner had front spot. Manteet closing in on Lyon. Wins the ball, although Lyon just gets back on it. Boston tries to spin out of it. Can't take it with him. And Dale, I think he might be in a little bit of trouble with that one.
That was a bit untoward.
Very careless, reckless. And luckily for him, Rees gets up. the veteran in Brad Rees. I think there might be a little bit more to say about that one. It was crude at best. Big spoil came from Davis. I'll come away with it. Murdoch goes to the outer side. Manteep was there. Now back to Murdoch on the familiar left. Out to the outer wing. Hancock works his player off the ball. And it's a push on the marking contest. Hancock thought it was all kosher, but not to be. The umpire thought otherwise, and he's the one that counts. So Redland, they'll win the ball. Yagmore has it.
Yagmore kicks it towards half forward. It's a burning pass. No mark taken there, though, from Quint. He gets his footy back. Malone wants it short. It misses everybody. Not a very good kick. Almost fortuitously to Salter. Now Yagmore pushes up from 55 metres out. It's not going to make the distance, and Southport have it covered in their defensive back pocket. Looks like it's Davis.
Davis is out wide. Kicks a good one. Finds Manteep. Has the run of Mutu. Uses him now. This will be the next one. Where does it get to? Nice handball to Ford. Has a man running further for him. So forward they go. That was Corbett. Kicks it over the head of Johnson. Johnson tracks back. Comes out to meet it, but doing well there was Barnes. Also like. Now Salter under pressure with the handball. Barnes again. O'Sullivan, they're just trying to find a passage through. And like, does he find Yagmore? Pressure. There were plenty of Sharks circling, but Yagmore brought it down.
That was a certain goal if he didn't take it, so well done. The kick to Quint. Could be 50. Screams for it, but nothing doing, unfortunately, for the Bombers. He kicks short. Is all right. Finds Baker. Late stages, second term as we head towards half-time. Baker sort of places it towards the 50. The pack will fly. No mark paid. Play on. Looked like it was a clean grab from here. And we'll have a stoppage 50 out. In the Bombers 50, they would love a goal before half-time. It's 17 points.
Can't be far away from half-time. Malone. It's a hit out. Salter. Kicked up in the air. Doesn't go the required distance, so play on's the call. I thought Lions thought that was enough. And that was probably a little bit of a crucial call in the finish. Umpire said not quite 15. So Lyon was forced to go. And then the pressure came, the ball went to ground. And siren goes, lost opportunity. So half-time it is. Southport by 17 points there. As we mentioned, definitely been the better side in this first half. But Redland have hung in there. That's the way that they go about things. A couple of crucial errors playing a part in Southport's lead. Mitch Johnson was the beneficiary of 2 goals there. Just while we're at it, leading goal kickers for the game. Let's go to Southport first. Mitch Johnson, he kicked 3 all in that second quarter, while Wilkinson, he kicked 1 in each of the first 2 quarters for his couple, obviously. If you need a calculator to work that out, you're a genius. And also Josh Baxter, while they're all singles for Redland, and they went to Christensen, Hamilman, Keneally. I keep calling him Keneally and Payne. How'd you see it, Riley? It was a competitive first half.
It was. The Bombers are just hanging around at the moment. Southport, as you mentioned, they do look the better side. The Bombers did lift a bit in that second quarter. Just turnovers, unfortunately, as I mentioned, killed them at stages. I'm actually looking towards the change rooms. Tyler Roos looks in a lot of trouble. He's got some strapping on his left leg. Don't know if he'll play a further part today, but that'll be a big loss for Southport. We can see if the Bombers can exploit that, and they have been even in the clearances today. They just want more reward for it.
I did see Tyler Roos's father, Paul Roos, not far from your commentary box in that first half, so he'll have made the trip up. Not for much, I wouldn't have thought. But, yeah, possession-wise, just looking at some of the champion data stats, 182 possessions to 164 Southport's way. Hitouts just favouring Redland, 27-26. Malone has had 23 of those for Redland. He's been very serviceable, while Turner's had 14. Hall has had the balance there of 12. Clearances going Redland's way, 21-27. Inside 50s, though, probably tell the tale of the tape, 29-19. And scoring shots there, 13-6. So the amount of football going forward is really where it's at, and why Southport have that 17-point lead. So what we might do is the players have gone in. We'll take a break. Half-time it is here at Scottsdale Park. Thanks to our broadcast partner, I'll get that right, our broadcast partner, Bar TV. And of course, the NEFL is proudly sponsored by Elastoplast. It's round 11 and it's Southport by 11 points. And welcome back to Scottsdale Park for this round 11 clash on Neefle TV. It is Redland, the home side. They trail by 17 points against the Southport Sharks, who currently sits second on the ladder. Mark Kennedy joined by Riley Sturay. I've got to get that right. Got to get used to it, making his commentary debut. As the siren sounds, it was Southport holding sway. Redland have shown some fight without no doubt about it. But we're going to see how the second half unfolds. This is the voice of the debutant, Riley Sturay.
Rucks go at it in the middle. Malone wins the tap decisively. Lions couldn't quite shark it. Well done from Rolls forward. Almost a fantastic mark taken. Not quite there from Redlands, and it'll clear towards Mutu on the outer side. He's approached there from Salter and taken out of play. I'll tell you what, that was almost a sensational mark again from the debutant Keneally. He's had some moments today. Looked like a slips catch.
Well, that's what I was going to say, actually. He looked like he was diving for the red cherry. It was a wrong red cherry. This one was a bit bigger with the word Sharon on it instead of Kookaburra. Josh Clayton, it's it to Wilkinson. He kicked 2 first half goals, one of the first, one of the second. The ball went high. Miller was there, but emerging was Southport, Corbett, Dale. And now the runner, Clayton, over the top to Baxter. Approaching forward 50. He looks for the pass. It's a poor one. I think he got his colours confused and he kicked it straight to James Barnes.
So Barnes clears it to Keneally. That was lucky for the Redlands. That would have been a shocking start for them. They'd want to get the first one in this third term to just hang around, which they've done in most games this year. Keneally to a contest. Good representation for both sides. Hamilman couldn't take the mark. Salter couldn't pick it up. Dale goes to Clark, goes towards half forward. A big contest will ensue. Both players drop it. Rolls drops it a second time. Davis comes in like a bull at a gate. Gets the hand pass to Turner. Turner from 50 metres out to the tip of the goal square. Johnson shoved his opponent out. Not paid. Play on. It's in dispute. It's a free kick to Redlands. Probably should have happened about 10 seconds earlier for that push out, but it's going to go the way of Barnes in the defensive square.
Well, Mitch Johnson just tunnelled his opponent, essentially, didn't he, in the goal square? And Charlesworth just does well enough in the marking contest. Puts it back from whence it came. High contest. The big spoil came from Redland. They might emerge with it. It's like. Kicks away. And Charlesworth, he takes the mark again. So deja vu. This time he goes short. Gives it to Clayton. So right on forward 50, he takes the mark. He has a man laterally. Goes to him now. That's Mutu. Mutu has the lead, and he finds. He honours that lead. And coming out there, pick that player up. Wilkinson it is.
Charlesworth's positioning today, which has caused this shot on goal, has been sensational. Rising star last week. Just reads the ball so well, and it's resulted in another shot for his team. I've been really impressed.
Wilkinson hasn't had a lot of the ball, just 6 disposals. But importantly, he's kicked 2 goals for the Sharks. He kicks it from right on 50. Across the face it goes. Williams was there, had front spot. It went through his hands. It was Clements. He's forced to lay the tackle for Southport to keep the ball right there. And with about a dozen players, or more, about 15 of them, the umpire will take it, clear a path, and he'll throw it back up into the air.
So the ruck contest, Malone bounces off his head. Kick from Manteet's a goal. He found a gap somehow in that pack, and he's kicked a decisive goal for the Sharks. It makes it a 23-point game, 7-7-49. Redlands 4-2-26. Not long into this third quarter, only 3 minutes, but alarm bells would be blaring in the coaching box of the Bombers.
Well, Michael Manteet, of course, he's come up from Sydney University this year, up to the Sharks. 14 disposals for him. He's had a couple of games where he's been ultra impressive in terms of disposal. Of course, we know he can slip forward and kick goals. He can swoop and sweep around the back, at half-back particularly. And I've noticed a couple of times he's been clearing a path to try and get Boston free from his tag, as it's been Kyle Walsh that's been tailing him for the afternoon. So the margin, 23 points. Dangerous signs. Lovely bounce in the middle of Scottsdale Park. Malone had front spot, goes at it again with a second effort. Here's Reeves. Gets the quick kick away to half forward. Coming out to meet it was Hancock. At the ground was Clements. Clements, short little kick out towards Johnson. Johnson. We know he's got plenty of support here. Maybe it's his Instagram followers. They're probably watching Neefle TV as well. The ball bustled. Manteet just bats it forward. Good work there by Turner. Now to Johnson. The kick from Mitch Johnson wasn't great on that occasion. Malone, he'll mop it up. Chain of handballs. Gets out to touched off the boot. And Southport will mop it up.
Davis, hand pass back to Reeves, shakes a couple of tackles. Hand pass wasn't great though. Payne was taken off the ball. Davis gets it now, gives the don't argue, and they've got the football here. Southport. Davis gets it back. Hand pass over the top, almost to himself. Instead it went to Baxter. He dropped the football. It's in dispute. Rolls, Payne, Salter towards half forward. They've got numbers here. Copeland needs to body line it. Well done from Seb Tate. He's taken by 2. Redland should score from here. It's smothered off the boot. Hamilman's there, though. He'll turn around off the right. The bounce, the goal. You could see that coming from a mile away, and that was much needed. It's a 17-point game, 7-7-49, 5-2-32. We've played about 5.5 minutes into this third quarter.
Well, it was the pressure around the contest, wasn't it, that really sort of set that up. They knew that Hamilman was forward, and as Seb Tape had committed to the contest, came through, the tackling pressure forced a turnover, and all they wanted to do was get it in the path of Matthew Hamilman. And in the end, he was by himself for a moment. It was touched off the boot, which allowed a Southport player to get there. But unfortunately, it was young Fife and Hamilman against Fife, and particularly as Fife had the strength to be able to turn around, it was always going to be danger, and the snap was a beauty.
That was his second for the day. It's back to 17 points. Back in the middle. Rucks go at it. Give the honours to Turn at that time. Lions couldn't get the football, nor could Manteet. Rees couldn't clear. It's still in dispute. A hand pass is fed out. Clark couldn't clear it. Now it falls to Rolls. Gets it to the debutant in Quint. Back to Rees. He's under pressure. He's taken in a brilliant tackle from Turner. He was just a bit too big for him there. And Southport will clear through Davis towards half forward to a one-on-one. Hancock couldn't take the mark, nor could Yagmore. Redlands have the numbers at the back of the pack. Miller, short chips all right. Lyons has got to be good here. He doesn't get there quick enough, and it's turnover. Reeves to Manteet. To a contest. Johnson the target. Flying over the back there. It couldn't quite discern who, but it's one behind is the end result. So 18 points.
Baxter. And did well, impacted the contest and got it to Hancock, and they just couldn't quite kick truly as the kick in comes back to Howard. Howard goes short, a little bit unconventional, but Christensen managed to take it. Looked like he was trying to take a chest mark up on his face. Gets it out to the outer wing. Meant to meter, there's Hamilman. Goes around the corner like the goal he kicked. Into the path of his teammate, but taking it there was Charlesworth. And so the ball comes back the other way. Hall goes up with the one hand. Going to ground was the Redlands player. Here's Walsh. He's wrapped up there. And now Miller goes. He's wrapped up by Clements. They keep going again. Hall shuffles it out with no great advantage. Rees is there. The ball tied up underneath. The ball squeezed out somehow, some way. Miller there again. There'll be plenty of tired players underneath there. Rolls. Handballs it up the line. Wilkinson taps it back to Murdoch, and they're happy for the ball to finally go over the boundary line. As I was running out of breath. On the outer wing it is.
I think they were running out of breath too. This game delicately poised here in this third quarter. 18 points the margin. Southport, you just get the feeling, might run over the top late. Neither ruckman could win the contest. Lions tapped it down intelligently. The kick to half forward. It's a one-on-one. Hamilman the target over the back. He has just got such long arms, and he judged that to perfection. He's lining up for number 3.
Charlesworth was pleading his case there, wasn't he? Saying he had first hands on it. But it was the cleanness of the way he just stole it from the clutches of Charlesworth that really gave the umpire no great impetus to call play on or a stalemate, if you like.
Statistically, Redlands don't have a right to be this close, but this can reduce it to 12 from 50. That's a Stephen Kernahan classic. He's kicked a goal. It was an absolute helicopter, but it doesn't matter how it looks. It's the result that matters. It's 12 points the margin, 7-8-50 to 6-2-38. 9.5 minutes gone, third quarter.
Well, 3 straight for Matthew Hamilman now. 10 possessions, 6 marks. He's efficient. We talked about it before, and that's what you need from your key forwards. And if Redland are going to stay in the game, we know Southport are going to take plenty of football up their end of the field. But if you can take it up your end and do something with it, well, it's going to keep your side much more in the game. And probably my criticism of Southport at the moment is if they're looking for Mitch Johnson, they seem to be kicking on his head a bit too much instead of allowing him to work to his strengths, which is out in front of him to run onto it, because Jonah Light is back on there. And if the ball's kicked in the air, not much of a chance there.
So back in the middle, Malone wins the tap down for the Redlands Bombers. Rees couldn't clear it. Socket forward from Dale first there. It will be Miller in front of Clements, but he couldn't do much with it. He's tackled. The umpire's circling, and we'll have a stoppage just at half forward for the Sharks. I was going to say, Mitch Johnson, he's only 180 centimetres. He's not exactly 2 metre Peter. He needs it out on the lead, not right on his head. Give the honours to Turner that time. It's socket forward. Dale's thereabouts. It's still bouncing Menteith. Looking for Baxter. Couldn't get it. Boston's bodied off the football. Well done. Redlands will clear. The short chip is really to no one. It's a shocker. That is a terrible kick, and Hall returns the favour promptly, but it goes over the back. Clayton, off his left foot, goes up. No mark taken from Johnson. Goes towards the boundary. Southport have numbers behind. They don't use it. Tape to Dale. He's taken from Dads. No free kick. Still in dispute. Redlands just want to get this out of there because they made a mockery of it, and Williams finally clears it for the Bombers.
Goes over the top of everybody. Plenty of space. Redland had the numbers but eluded Hamilman. Clark, he's got the run of it, but he's under pressure. Now he'll feed it out. Charlesworth looking for a player. Finds Mutu running across and linking up nicely. From half back, he goes to half forward. The bounce was a shocker for Redland because Clements is there. Puts it in the path of Dale, and he's immediately set on. And now the half back line of Redland can mop it up. Barnes got it off to Dads. We go further back to Like. Now to Williams. They're just messing around. Hancock lays the tackle. And now the ball is stuck in Southport's forward 50, and a free kick will be paid to the Sharks. And it was more so the fact that Dads did not, he knew the tackle was there, but did not make any effort thereafter to try and clear it.
Southport really have no right at this shot at goal when you think about the situation that just was. The Bombers had clear space, clear footy, but as this game's gone on, their rebound from defensive 50 unfortunately has lessened in terms of effectiveness, and this could be a decisive blow.
So Ethan Reeves with the football, boy from Broadbeach, 21 years of age. Have to lob it just about all of 50. Puts it right across the face. Got the distance all right, so he's a good wind-up from the little fella. 179 centimetres, but clearly packs a bit of a wallop, so the margin out to 13 points.
O'Sullivan kicks it to himself, goes to a contest. Hamilman and Malone, the representation for the Bombers. A Southport player hand passed it straight to Quint, who promptly dropped it and put them under pressure. Rees, though, mops up defensively. His kick's a shocker. Straight to Murdoch. Southport have numbers in the middle of the ground if they want to use it. They've got the switch here. This is dangerous for the Bombers. Mutu. Oh, the football's dropped from Clark and Jackson Payne. Well, in the second quarter, that happened twice for Redlands, and Southport have just returned the favour. All of a sudden, it's a 7-point game. You don't feel like it should be that. There's a free kick's called. It looks like for a bit of push and shove. And it's going the Bombers' way. So it's a goal to Payne, and Christensen will have a shot from 50.
Well, that's just poor discipline, isn't it? There's not so much, I don't think Steve Daniel will mind the error so much now as what's actually happening thereafter. As Aaron Christensen being spoken to. Let's just suggest there might be a report there somewhere. Gives it to Yagmore. Yagmore, we know he likes to load it up, and that's not his best effort. He cleared the goal line effortlessly. But he was awry in terms of accuracy, so the margin is back to just 6 points midway through, about midway through the third quarter. Southport have the ball. It's Josh Clayton.
Clayton Chips it short to Charlesworth. They're living a fine line here at the moment, the Sharks. That was a poor minute and a half. But Charlesworth will clear to a contest. Malone and Hall, the representation in terms of tolls. Falls to the bottom of the pack. Rolls couldn't clear the football. Good tackle there from Corbett. Mutu. Clayton didn't pick it up. He dropped it and then just smacks it on his boot. O'Sullivan should mark. He's dropped it instead. He tries to feign a couple. He's worked himself into trouble. Licht. He's in massive trouble. He does well to break. Walsh. It's a high tackle. And Licht or Licht has done sensationally. And he's got the free.
We'll go to the far side. Has a player free. Right there, that was Barnes. A bad kick out to, still backward of centre there, but out on that far side was Dads. Now to Rolls. So they're building here again. Good chipping pass. Doesn't find Kennelly. Dads, and now to Yagmore. He just says, let's get it down there. There's a man free. It was Copeland. Couldn't take it with him. That looked real dangerous. The handball came. Nothing untoward there. And clearly got a handball away despite the urgings of the Redland crowd. And all of a sudden, with a couple of errors, you just feel the pressure that Southport find themselves under as the goal is just the margin.
Not just the margin, but the crowd is getting into this one too. Back in the ruck contest. That was a spoil from Hall. That was silly. That's deliberate out of bounds. I don't know what he was thinking. He has punched that almost over the fence for no particular reason, and it's going to result in a shot on goal once again from the debutant in Jai Keneally.
Well, I've got to ask how many years that rule's actually been in place, because Josh Hall has been out of the AFL system for a few years. Of course, he left the Gold Coast Suns, went to Penrith in the NRL, the North Queensland Cowboys. So Southport have got him back.
Not a bad effort. It's just a little skitty, but the Bombers are pressing. The crowd's up and about. We've got a contest here, a Queensland rivalry, a historic rivalry. It's 5 points, the margin. 7-9 to 7-4.
We'd suggest that Southport are kicking against the breeze in this third quarter, but Redland, you've got to take advantage. Williams, ball goes over the back or through his hands. Wilkinson applies the pressure. Manteet's there, plays for the free kick more than anything, I think. Well, he's a bit sluggish to get up, and the ball stuck under plenty, not far from him.
We're just waiting for the next goal here. It's going to be decisive. You feel in the context of this one, Redlands will want to keep this momentum going. But if the Southport get it next, it might just kill a Christensen towards half forward. Payne couldn't take the mark. Southport have the numbers, but it's a shocking hand pass. And suddenly the Bombers are in front. Jesse Quint, the debutant. And what I thought was going to be a formality when Southport kicked the first through Manteet in this quarter to make it 23 points, suddenly the Bombers are in front. 8-4-52, 7-9-51. 17 and a half minutes into this third quarter.
We can sense that Southport has started to play the game on Redland's terms, and Redland, you see the confidence growing, and a couple of errors that have come from Southport have only enhanced that confidence. And it's a contest, all right. 4 goals to 1 in this third quarter so far, and all the pressure is starting to build in favour of the home side here at Scottsdale Park.
Clearances have been won all day from Redlands. They have the advantage, 26-22.
So back in the middle. Good bounce. Yet again, Turner gets the left foot to it. Yeah, he knows one way generally, and that's Long. Like punched it away from Johnson, but Baxter at ground level brings it back for Southport. It was a quick kick inside forward 50, which has been their way. And while the Redland defence got it to ground, it was the centre half forward in Josh Baxter who did all the work at ground level and kicked truly.
We did say that goal was needed for Southport. They've hit the front. That was well done there from Baxter. He just read that beautifully off the hands. Maybe a little bit of loose checking from the Redlands defence resulted in that, but it's 5 points the margin. We have got one contest here. It's looking better and better by the minute. Let's just hope it continues for the remainder.
Oh, just quick scores around the grounds today. Sydney Swans defeated the Gold Coast Suns by 67 points, and Aspley over Sydney Uni by 13 points. So this is a chance for Southport to go top of the ladder. Should they be able to take away a win? They've got inside forward 50. He pushes his man off the ball. Well, that was Charlie Ford, but the kick, his eyes lit up when he got a little bit of space moving forward and he couldn't take advantage.
We couldn't realistically think Southport would play as well today as they did last week. They are locked in one battle. They're just going to want to win this one and take away the 4 points and, as previously mentioned, get to the top of the ladder in a very tight NEAFL competition. Tackle laid there from Rolls, no real clearance. Well done from Howard, just gets a kick away. It's going to go straight to Seb Tape though. Steps one, taken high but called play on. Nothing really done there from Davis. The kick from forward from Clark to Boston. El Mucho is going to have the shot from about 50 metres out.
Well, he hasn't been real busy today, has he? He's been tailed for the whole day by Kyle Walsh. And Andrew Boston coming in for his 8th disposal. 2 behinds to his name. Certainly one of them was really lackadaisical in the way he approached it, but given the nature of this game and the position it's in, you'd suggest the cream rises to the top. He'll kick it well, I feel.
We'll back him in from here, 48 metres out. It was a wise decision. He's kicked his first. It's much needed, and they get around him. Southport steady a little here. 9-9-63, 8-4-52. We've hit time on third quarter.
Well, I mentioned the cream rises to the top, and earlier on I mentioned also that he's a lovely kick of the football, and when you've got time and space, as Andrew Boston had then, you need your best with the football in their hands, don't you? And you can't have too much a better player in this competition with the ball in hand shooting for goal than that man. I'd probably have Hamilman up one end, as he just kicks it so wonderfully for goal, and Boston down the other, and the margin back to 11 for Southport. Enjoying this, Riley.
Nice.
Commentary to boot. What a game we've got.
Back in the middle, Malone wins the tap down, falls towards Rolls. Can he do something effective from here? Hand pass back to O'Sullivan, now to Howard, the inclusion late. Goes towards half forward, Payne couldn't take the mark, falls over the back. Southport have the numbers, Davis is there, gets it to his teammate. Left foot kick from Tape. Jeez, that just landed inside the line. And we'll have a stoppage just forward of centre, right in front of the crowd of what has been a very intriguing afternoon.
I love loss there. Jackson Payne letting everybody know that he's around. And that forward line. Malone works his way to the front, taps the ball to the back though. Up to the task was Southport, and that was Wilkinson. Kicks it into the middle of Scottsdale Park. Hancock right there with Barnes, does well. Ball held up. Right there is Baker, trying to come through hard. Was Dads, and the man with two fathers. That's a plural, Dads. Sorry for the dad joke, or the dad's joke. Ball be tied up in the middle of Scottsdale Park. Yagmore, he's quickly tackled. Corbett's there. He tried to steal it, but Wilkinson laid the tackle. Did you like that bit of humour there, Riley? That's some of my best work.
Oh, it's your best for the day so far. Malone taps it over the back. Falls to Baker. Hand pass to Rolls. Now to Quint. They go to half forward through Barnes. Trying to find Payne. Couldn't take the mark. Well chopped off there from Clark. And we'll have a stoppage right in the forward 50 here for the Bombers. This game's on a knife's edge. At halftime, you just had the feeling, as I said before, Southport would run away with this, but you could split the tension with a knife. Redlands, they want to have any chance of finals, they must win today.
At the ruck contest, no real clear winner. Ball fed back by Christensen and Reeves. As soon as he put his foot to it, he turned away in disgust because he knew it was going well wide of its target. The target was the goals, and he kicked it out of bounds on the full as Dylan Mutu has the ball. So from defence, he'll be able to bring it out. Just goes behind his mark, so he's having a moment here. Now we're underway again. Goes up the line, looking for the tall target. Yagmore was there but couldn't take it. Well done there by Southport. They just got it over the back. Clements it is. Little chipping ball finds Hancock. They stream forward. And Hancock goes on the left, trying to find the target. Rolls is there. Running onto it is Clayton. Front and centre and misses. And it was just the diving attempt at a tackle by a desperate Redlands defender that just put a little bit of unbalanced Clayton to kick the point.
That would make Jason Dunstall's dribble file, you'd have to think. It's 12 points. Yagmore from the kick-in. It was a good one too. He finds Dads. Dads will go towards Hamilman, who's the target in front of Murdoch. Well done from Murdoch to get some body pressure on and at least stop the football. Redlands had numbers streaming. Possibly a professional free. Towards full forward, the kick will go. One-on-one, Charlesworth and Payne. 9 to get there. Clark is first there for Southport. The tap, though, is very dangerous. Payne causes some pain for the Sharks. And it's back to one straight kick. 9-10, 64 to 9-4, 58. We've played 25 and a half minutes into this third quarter.
Well, the tap back from the Southport defender there, thinking his teammate was there, was low percentage play. Seeing plenty of push and shove in the goal square down there. Players reminding each other of the task at hand. But again, little things and percentage plays are the ones that will get you places. And when you choose to do the fancy things, as Southport probably did in defence on that occasion, the ball fell nicely to Payne. He made no mistake.
So back in the middle, the bounce will be recalled. Johnson's back on the ground here for the Sharks. He's only had 7 touches today, but he's kicked 3 goals. Licht has worn him like a glove. Probably call that a win there for the Bombers. He's had minimal effect. Malone gets the tap out. He's trying to find Rees. Hand pass was good. Finds Dads. Sensational kick. Hamilman would take that 99 out of 100. That was the one. It's turned over. Clements up the line. Puts his opponent under the football. He's got some space and he's about 55 out and closing. He hits a target short. Well done there from Southport. And the shot will be taken from Hancock. Probably 45 out on the far side.
Well, Miller on the wing, though, wasn't he? He just fell over when he just shouldn't have. And Clements stayed on his feet. He knew the ball. He just judged it. It was to ground. And then he swooped back on it. And it was an easy kick because he had plenty of time and space to shape up to Hancock's lead.
So Hancock from 40 metres out. It's a bit of an up and under, but the accuracy is sensational. That's a steadier. It's a 2-goal game. It's going back and forth at the moment. 10-10, 70, 9-4, 58, 27 minutes gone, third quarter. I tell you what, about 30 seconds before, Matthew Hamilman would want to have that moment back. Hamilman, sorry. That's a marquee take, almost 100 out of 100.
Yeah, and again, concentration. Sometimes when you think you've got it, your brain switches off a little bit and your hands sort of don't quite work with the accuracy that you would like them. And as we saw then, ball goes down the other end. Goal the other way. So the margin back out to 12 points. 27 and a half minutes gone. A little bit of a seesawing contest here in this third quarter after Redland made all the play to hit the front, and Southport, they've hit back.
Back in the middle, Hall couldn't quite get the tap out. It bounces off his foot. Well done from Salter. Hand pass back. Now finds O'Sullivan. They have an extra number. Dads, the man with multiple dads, steps inside too. Tries to find Walsh. The hand pass was a little awry. He's poleaxed by Charlesworth. Great commitment from both players. They'll have a stoppage right on the 50 as the Redlands crowd aren't too impressed.
Well, aren't impressed because coming out there was a Southport player to try and put some physical duress upon Walsh, who's been tailing Boston, to try and get Boston into the game. Clements finds some space now at half-back, goes out wide. Wilkinson is the target. Lyons in hot pursuit. Lyons, good leg speed, but Wilkinson, just better poise and better feel for it on that occasion. Kicks the ball up the line. Like and Johnson are both there. And the ball out of play. Just forward of the wing, out of side.
I was just going to mention Jai Lyons. He hasn't had a great day today, only 5 touches. He'd want to be in for a big last quarter because he can provide some X factor. It's been a bit quiet, unfortunately.
Ball back into play. Hall went. legally, says the umpire. Touch and go. Ball just parried forward. Only to O'Sullivan for Redland at half-back. Gets the handball away. Under pressure is his teammate, who was wrapped up by Ford. And the umpire's right there. He decides he'll ball it up. He thought about it, but erred on the side of caution. And coming up from the contest is Walsh. Malone. It's ball down lines there. Ford there. This is going nowhere again. On the half-forward flank out of side. We'll have another ball up for the umpire.
Not long to go in this third term. Goal either side crucial. Boston gets a hand pass forward. Finds Davis. Finds Ford. 45 out. Couldn't quite find the target there in Baxter. And it's out of play. About 20 metres out from the Southport goal. They would love one before three-quarter time. They're probably locked in a battle which is a bit tighter than they thought it'd be.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is a little bit of breeze going down to the southern end or the right of your screen. But in saying that, if they can kick another goal here, Southport, the margin is actually where it was at half-time. So they won't mind too much. Ball tied up under plenty yet again. So we'll have another ball up. Malone puts it out to the boundary. Reeves, he's ripped off it. Reeves, right at the boundary line. There's a whistle on play. And it went out of play, so it'll go back and be thrown in as he was just over the boundary line. We'll have a little bit of a break here. Leading possession getters on the ground. We've got a moment. Josh Clayton has 25 for Southport. Davis has 20. Mutu with 19. Manteet with 17 and Charles with 15. While for Redlands, Rolls has 22. Adrian Williams 19 along with James Barnes. And Light back there in the back line. He's also had 15 while O'Sullivan's had 14.
So there's the throw in. It's Hall and Malone once again. Hall falls over, so Malone wins it down. Boston got taken high, called play on. Umpire deemed he acted a bit there. And we'll have a stoppage about 35 out.
Don't know if he deemed he acted, he just didn't blow the whistle. But no, go hard at it again. You get up and you go. Line with the ball. There's another one looking for a high tackle was Reeves, but not to be. So he'll get up. A little bit of push and shove over the top of Reeves as he gets up a little gingerly. Nominating Ruckman, Malone and also Hall. They both try and tap it at the same spot. Boston was there first, bustled off it. Lyons is there, gets the handball away. Quick kick from Reeves on the left, that's Aaron. Goes out of bounds on the full, so Southport can reload. The man with the football will be Fife. Haven't seen a lot of Fife today. In fact, he's just had the 2 disposals, so the Tasmanian would like a better return than that. He kicks it to a dangerous spot, but coming out nicely with a defensive mark is Adrian Williams.
Williams kicks it to Dads. It bounces over his head. It's a foot race. He'll get there first. Christensen wants the football. If he can retrieve, he goes shorter instead. Back to O'Sullivan. Good work to Telford. They have the numbers. Christensen, Hammerman screaming for it over the top. He decides to go shorter instead. Couldn't find his target. Fife trying to make up for his previous missed kick. Forces the contest. It's out of play. And it's deliberate out of bounds.
Yeah, go Southport's way, absolutely, because he was just trying to force a stoppage there, the player in Keneally. The kick from Southport was marked nicely by Williams. He's tried to play on, probably unwisely. Salter tackled as soon as he got it. Trying to burst through there with Southport player, Mutu. Charlesworth, he's under pressure as the siren goes. It's not a bad way to end the quarter because there's plenty of feeling out there. You can sense that the game just went up another notch or two in that third quarter as Redland really pressed at them and Southport answered, and a little bit of niggle starting to creep in.
The main question I had coming into today is, do the Bombers know how to win? They're in a position once again to possibly steal this one and get their second victory of the year. They're facing a very classy outfit. It's going to take a lot of guts, determination, but probably more importantly, skill level to come away with this one. They're there, they can catch them. It's just, do they have the class?
That's right. Just couple of quick team stats. Possessions going Southport's way, 276, 257 to Redland. Inside 50s for me, still a little bit imbalanced, 44 to 32. Hitouts going a little bit further Redland's way, 41-34, and clearances 32-28, both in Redland's way. But importantly for Southport, the score is in their favour. And at three-quarter time here at Scottsdale Park in this round 11 clash, it is Southport by 12 points. We will let the two coaches give their addresses to their players, and we'll take a break, and we'll be back with you for the final quarter here and on NEFL TV. 12 points is the margin at three-quarter time here in this round 11 clash on Neefel TV between Redland and Southport. Southport are currently in the lead here. Mark Kennedy joined by Riley Staray. And we're set up for a monumental finish to the game, hopefully. And here is Riley Staray to get us underway.
Final quarter underway. Rucks go at it. Give the honours to Malone that time. Dads couldn't get the clearance. Pushed off the contest well there. Looks like it was Clayton. Lyons, who I spoke about, needed to lift. Got a hand pass away. Salter now has it for the Bombers towards half forward. It's a big pack of Sharks. Spoil from the back from Tate was good. They still have the football. Clark, Boston. He's tackled twice. Held up under the footy and will have a stoppage at half forward for the Bombers.
A very physical game last week, Southport. So you wonder what sort of toll it took on them. Know that if plenty of their prime moves get hold of the ball, they might be in trouble. Coming through hard there was Boston, couldn't take it with him. Clayton, now to Boston, has his kick smothered by Lyons. He goes again on the second effort, does Boston. You get up, looks a bit tired, looks a little bit sore, but it's to his feet, and the ball on the outer wing will be thrown back in.
So who can win this clearance? It's been pretty even all day. Redland's just on top. There's the contest. Malone straight to Lyons. His kick was smothered off the boot, though. Howard clears it forward. An absolute helicopter in the air. Payne goes for it and takes it. Strong hands from the former Lion. Now he's got Hamilman, who's posturing himself in the 50. He's pointing to the fat side. He goes shorter instead. The kick was poor. Southport have the numbers. Tape towards Murdoch. Goes towards half forward. Hancock's the target against O'Sullivan. Both have played well today. And they fight a draw. And now we're on the other side of the field, half forward.
Well, he's just got himself into the game a couple of times, Wade Hancock, hasn't he? But I think O'Sullivan, as you rightly point out, for me at least, I think he's actually taken the honours so far this afternoon. Hancock's just had the one goal and just the 7 disposals as ball back into play. Boston immediately collared there by a man that's been very close to him all day, and Kyle Walsh. Go again. Turner just had a fresh airy. Allows Malone at ground level to get the kick away. Charlesworth has front spot. Ground level there. Pulled off it was Quint. Tape emerges with the football. Kicks it back deep. And there, like the Rock of Gibraltar, is Adrian Williams.
Williams kicks it into the middle of the ground. It's effective to Baker. He's got an option streaming for him in Light. Now, he's got a quick one over the top if he turns around quick enough. He doesn't, but he goes now. It's all right to Keneally. He's played a good debut game, hasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly has. And for Keneally, coming up for disposal number 8, but it's the enthusiasm that he showed that he can compete at this level.
His kick to half forward, though, wasn't great. There's a holding free kick going to Redlands, though. It's Hamilman's. Payne will be the target, you'd think. He is. They clear the space for him. One-on-one contest. He will fly. Spoil was good there. Falls to Christensen. What can he do? Keeps it in play. Hand pass went straight to Mantine. It's in trouble. Payne couldn't really do much with it. It's in the pocket. You just think it's going to be a stoppage, which it is.
Looked dangerous, didn't it? Ball turnover. And again, just not quite clean with hands at various times. Just makes it hard to pick as to who's going to emerge with the football. Ball thrown up close to the point post. Malone got the handball out. Baker around the corner. Goes up in the air. Contest. Tate with the spoil. Down to Copeland. They're calling a touch ball. But importantly, the goal umpire says no, that's a goal. So Copeland, we haven't seen much of him all day. That was just his 5th touch for the afternoon. Brings the score back to just one straight kick. They're kicking against a little bit of a breeze. But Redland, they coming.
It's been a sensational effort this afternoon from the Bombers. You didn't think they'd be this close this late, but it's only one straight kick the margin. And this sort of margin brings hope, doesn't it?
Sure does. And again, for a side that's currently 1 win and 8 losses, it's important to just keep the faith, They've been in a lot of games. They haven't been blown away in a stack of them. but they just don't know how to get over the line. But you've got to keep coming.
So back in the middle, who will win this clearance this time? The bounce goes up. Neither ruckman could win it down. Turner hand pass was effective to Reeves. He'll kick it towards full forward. 2 on 3 in favour of the Bombers. Williams couldn't take the mark. They're under pressure, but he gets it back. Off the left foot, the kick is smothered. They still have representation down there. Great tackle on O'Sullivan by Hancock. And it's just tied up in that forward pocket, right in front of the Southport box, essentially.
It was good pressure up forward there by Hancock, wasn't it? The ball went forward, and just helping to impact the contest. Just block the path of Williams and then smother and then lay the tackle as the ball's caught up under plenty. In fact, it was furried. Is that such a word? Furried? Furrowed over the boundary line. We'll have a throw in. So Malone and Hall will go at the contest again. 43 hit out so far for Craig Malone. The postman. Does he deliver this time for his Smalls? He does. Gives it to Dads, who just roosts it high to centre half forward. Punch forward by Quint away from Davis. First man back there is Tape. Goes on around on his non-familiar right. Now who get on his left, but it chooses to handle instead. Dale goes inside forward 50, looking for a target. That target was Hancock. He fell over, but he's up again. Swooping on the ball. His Southport player there in Wilkinson goes right across the face. And it goes out of bounds. I thought it was going to be something special they're building. Not to be. We'll have a throw in.
That was exciting. Unfortunately, no result, but it's probably better than a behind. It's in their pocket. They have done well in getting these repeat inside 50s. Let's see if they can convert. So back in the ruck, Malone gets the tap down, taps it towards goal. Manteet couldn't shark it. It's been kicked off the ground. It's a goal to the Sharks.
In fact, it was Manteet there. He looked like he lost it, but he actually plucked it and took it with him and kicked it.
It's the second time he's done that today.
He's sneaky. Michael Manteet, been one of the better contributors for Southport this afternoon. It's not just in possessions. I think the work he's done around the contest at various times has been very beneficial for his side. And for him, that's 2 goals. So well done to Michael Manteet.
2 goals, 20 disposals, 7 marks, 2 tackles. He's been arguably one of the BOGs today. He's had an influence and just keeps that margin at 12 points. They're just holding Redlands at bay. If they keep this gap, you just feel they're going to win it.
Ball in the middle again. Malone went for the big punch forward. Boston runs onto it though. Getting the kick away is that goal kicker in Michael Manteet. The ball sits up. Wilkinson belts it on. At centre half forward it is. Likes ripped off the ball. Goes again. He might be in a bit of trouble here. Umpire says no, it's come out. Lee Dale stands in the tackle, gets the handball away. Turner's there, gets it away as well. Plenty of players around the contest. It's Willing. And the ball tied up at centre half forward.
I think Caelan Baker's going to be a sore lad tomorrow. He's been in a couple of rough contests today. Another one there, he was driven straight into the ground. Great pressure from the Sharks.
So Malone, another hit out. There. Baker goes again, gets it to Payne. Payne quickly gives it back to Baker, so the run is maintained. Up to Keneally. Keneally, half forward in front of the broadcast box. Goes long. Why wouldn't you go long? Because you've got Hamilton there, but he's got 2 to beat at the moment. Punch came from Tape. Swooping is Quint. Now back to Baker. He's run hard. Ball along near the goals, and Ryan Davis saves the day for Southport.
So Davis in his defensive square. Goes short to Reeves. Not much movement ahead of the footy. Maybe just chewing a few seconds off here as he goes back to Davis. He plays on to a 2-on-1 contest. They should win out here, the Sharks, through Turner or Mutu. It's the former. Mutu, though, couldn't quite take the hand pass. Almost gives away the free kick for good measure. It doesn't matter. Baker's got it, but is subsequently tackled. He was too slow, holding the footy.
Well, the faithful were upset here because it should have been a free kick the other way. Ripped off the ball was one of the Redlands players. Might have been Copeland, in fact, but not to be. The umpire called play on, and now no wonder they're a little bit upset as it was Corbett that gives the ball to Manteet.
Manteet with the footy right in front of us here. Goes short. Strong grab taken from Reeves. He'll head towards half forward. The kick lacking a bit of direction. Williams dropped the mark, however. Looming ominously there is Hall. falls out to Baxter, to Corbett, to Ford. They're lining up. The kick to Johnson. Can he take it? He's dropped it off the hands. He's trailed by Light. And that's a missed opportunity. He'd snaffle that a lot of the time.
Yeah, he would, and he's been a little bit out of sorts today, but full credit goes to Jonah Light because we thought it might have been a little bit of a mismatch in terms of the pace and to be honest, the strength, even though Light is the bigger man.
So Hall gets the tap down. Boston tries to shark it. Hand pass back to Fife. He's had a quiet day. Is this his moment? Oh, you bet it is. That is a massive goal in the context of this one. It's 18 points the margin, 12-10, 82 to 10-4, 64. We've played about 10 minutes into this final term.
Well, at various stages today, Dylan Fife, he's found himself in the back line. You saw him in the mismatch with Hamilman there at one stage and been sweeping the ball through. He hasn't had a lot of touches, but when it comes down to it, you've got to have the ones that affect the contest and impact the contest. And on that occasion, it was Boston with the clearance. It really fed it out nicely to Fife. And he went on the non-preferred left, and he did it wonderfully. And the Tasmanian, they'll be celebrating in Tasmania as well. And Lauderdale, the young man, 161 centimetres.
Jeez.
I'll tell you what, he's only 71 kilos and not quite fit two of him into me, but not far off. Turner goes at it. Clayton, he was held before he actually got the ball. Boston's also there, and he's happy to have a bit of coming off the, well, he didn't quite come off the top turnbuckle then. He was already on the ground, so he's probably trying to lay the suplex. There's the Mexican wrestler. So they'll go again. And this time it was Goodall. Redland get the ball going their way. Davis, clever little handball to Reeves. Now to Fife. Fife on that left again. It was neat on that occasion and finds Reeves on the outer wing.
Reeves back to Fife. Fife goes towards half forward. The kick's good. It's about 65 out. They go towards the tip of the goal square. Jumping over the top is Hall. Couldn't take the mark. Southport have numbers here if they can feed it out. Good defensive pressure there from the Bombers. It saved a goal. They had about 3 on the back if they could have just got it out, but they couldn't quite.
Well, they looked like they had the swoopers, the little men front and centre there, Southport. They were going to take it away, but it just fell over at the wrong time, did Clements. That was Hancock laying a tackle, and we'll have another ball up there. So they're going to have to lift here, Redland, if they're going to be right in this, because 18 points is the margin, and Southport look like they're going to press, as good sides do. Ball comes out from Barnes. And Southport, they might run onto a Baxter, round the corner on the left. It bounces, but Jai Lyons is there playing goalkeeper. He just kicks the ball indiscriminately out. It was touched off the boot. So play on to call. Reeves finds Davis, who can run into an open goal and misses.
Could be a handy point, though.
You have plenty of time and space to measure that. And it's like a deer in the headlights. Didn't know what to do as Yagmore kicks it long in the middle of Scottsdale Park.
It was a sensational kick. Salter's got the footy. He was assaulted straight away, though. Hamilman feeds a hand pass. Redland should goal from here. They have momentum forward. Keneally, the target. It's gone over his head, and wow. That should have been a goal.
Just poorly measured, wasn't it, the kick? And the intention was right. The execution was poor.
But it's in their forward 50. Payne will go in the ruck contest here against Turner. They need a goal from this entry. We've played almost 13 minutes into the final term. Payne with the tap down goes straight to Davis, who gets the clearance. Finds the target very well there in Hancock. He's happy to slow it up a little. There's not much ahead of him, so he just goes sideways to Mantee. Now to Clayton. The man with the man bun.
Loves a good man bun. There's no doubt about that. And I'll tell you what, he doesn't mind a bit of leather poisoning. 25 points is the margin. Goes to half forward. Malone. He delivers. I know my little bloke at home, Zach. And the other one, Jesse, will be listening in. Hello to them. They'll enjoy that Malone bit of work as Redland bring it through the middle of the ground. Rees goes to half forward. Hamilman is the target. Gets one hand on it. It just fishes the handball out. Around the corner goes Telford and a goal. They're still in it.
It's a behind.
Oh,
it's a point.
I heard the faithful go up. One of the big crescendo, but not to be, and Southport can bring it out.
And this could be costly. Clayton has the football, goes to Hancock. He'll stop and prop. There's options presenting. He doesn't go to Reeves just yet. It's happened twice today, the big crescendo, and Unfortunately, no goal. Clayton's kick, though, straight to Williams, where there's a free kick.
It was a holding.
It's going to Hall. That was ill-disciplined. Williams had that covered, so Hall goes short. Couldn't quite hit the target there in Clark. The ball goes to Dale. That might be it. It's going to be tough now for the Bombers. They're 24 points down, 13-11, 89, 10-5, 65. We've played 15 minutes into the final term.
Well, maybe it was wishful thinking for me up the other end, and I really wanted Redland to press here, but Southport bring it down the other end. It's happened once already today, where it was touched off the boot, and Southport brought it down, and on that occasion, Lee Dale, he provides a number of different opportunities for Southport to play in a position, and tactically he works very well in amongst. He can play down back, he can push forward and kick goal, and as we see, he's in the middle of the ground right now. But disappointing for Redland as now the margin's 24 points.
The class of the Sharks has shone through in this final term. They've been challenged, but they're up for it. It's 24 points.
So the bounce is a ripper. Malone, but Boston. He comes away. He hammers it to half forward. Awkward looking kick. It bounces away from Williams, but O'Sullivan's there. Gives it to Williams now. Goes for a dangerous kick. It hits the ground. Likes there. He's going to have to backtrack. Gives it to Yagmore. Generally good by foot. Lobs that one up, but that's a poor kick under the circumstances, and Southport can reload.
He's much better on his left than his right, that's for sure. So that's 60 out. The kick will come in. Manteet's there, so's Hall. Couldn't take the mark. Williams tried to get it off the hand, so did O'Sullivan. Johnson lays a tackle. And we'll have a stoppage. This is very dangerous waters here for the Bombers.
Well, has it taken the wind out of the sails is probably the question. This is where Southport could run away. Ball tied up under plenty, and the umpire will do it again. So we're not far away from Southport's goal. Hall went early, took it out of the ruck, kicked it over the top, and went towards goal. That would have been spectacular. But just kicked it across the face. So the margin 25 points, 17 minutes gone this last quarter is Yagmore. He'll shape, and I reckon he's just about that stage where he's going to kick it down, a big one down the middle.
They have to go for it now, the Bombers. Try to win this game and not just concede. Rees couldn't get it. Brilliant tackle there laid from Clements, and we'll have a stoppage. Just on the square. Probably half back for Redlands. They just need a wheel and go. They can't play now just to get a 4-goal loss. Risk it being 7, but try and win this game. Anyway, back at the stoppage. Fife from the back gets the clearance, kicks it towards half forward. Hall coming out fortuitously. There's a free kick.
It'll go to Hall. He was pushed off in the contest, I thought. But in fact, will it go to... Yep, it'll go to Hall. He was coming from the back. His opponent just pushed him to try and get him off balance, but he pushed him illegally in the contest.
This could do it. Unfortunately for the Bombers, they've been valiant today. This to make it 31 points.
You back him in?
I do. It's a gettable shot, especially for a right footer. I wish I had some money on it. He's kicked a goal. It's 31 points the margin. And you just get the feeling that might be all she wrote in terms of the contest. Southport are now at a margin of 14-12, 96 to Redland 10-5, 65. Valiant today, but class has just shone through in the end.
Well, valiant, honourable. You can use words of that ilk, but ultimately when you end it with the word loss,
it's a loss.
It doesn't fill the bucket, and it doesn't doesn't take you any further up the ladder in this competition. And no, Redlands, we like the way they go about it in terms of their competitiveness, but they just can't find a way to get over the line. But this Southport side, they're pretty resilient, aren't they? And the way they go about it is Malone punches it forward. Reeves just kicks it off the deck, I think indiscriminately as much as anything else. Salter went to ground just to try and put a few knees into somebody, I think. Not with any great malice, admittedly. Lyon swung off the ball. Clayton's there. Just fumbled it at the wrong time. And Reeves gets it and says, let's get it out of here. Baxter punched away from him. Ford has it, just came through nicely and took possession, gives it to Clements. Clements on the left foot, measures the pass. And on the lead coming out there was Wade Hancock.
The class is shining through. It could get ugly here in the last 10 minutes. Redlands don't want this to blow out. This could be another percentage booster for the Sharks. They're going to go top tonight. Assuming, of course, Redlands don't perform a miracle in the last 10 minutes of this one.
So Wade Hancock been busy without being too influential. Just kicks it to the top of the square. Hall went high. Can't bring it down with him. There was Manteet and Johnson. He's kicked 3, but it's not a red letter day by any stretch for him. He's been well held, been the beneficiary of 2 absolute clangers from the Redland defence that have gifted him goals. And there's only been the one that he's really probably earned, one would say.
So back at the contest, Malone's tap went over the back. Dale to Ford. His kick goes about 20 metres in the air. Johnson looming, and mark's been taken. And Southport will have another shot on goal.
Hancock again.
And it's Hancock once again. Further to your point before, if Redlands came into this game and said Johnson would be well held, Boston would be well held, they'd be very happy with it, but it's not going to result in a win.
No, and you got your dynamic duo of Hancock and Johnson, and between them they've kicked 4, which is not a horrible return, but it hasn't been an influential return.
So Hancock for his second. He's missed it. He'd get that most times.
That's 1-3 for him, so not his best day either. As Yagmore kicks it to himself and then kicks it long. Payne's a target, stands tall, takes a nice mark. So still at half back, he's been forced to come down to get it, asked to play on, kicks a short one. Salter gets there, in fact it was Rolls, gets there in time. Goes out wide to the other side of Scottsdale Park. It's James Barnes with the ball at half back. Gives it inboard to Adrian Williams. Gets around one just. Feeds the ball over the back, but this might be a turnover as it's Wilkinson who swoops on it. And Southport can reload. This is Baxter.
Baxter kicks it towards half forward. His kick hits the target about 80 metres out from goal. It was Ford. One-on-one contest. Yagmore's taken a great grab there in the left hand. And he'll send it back, possibly from whence it came. He goes a bit further than that to a contest. 2-on-2, Payne's the flyer. He's paid the mark, and he'll look to wheel and go. Lions wanted the football. He decides not to and just holds it up and heads further forward to a contest. Hamilman from the back couldn't take the mark. Davis Soccer went straight to a bomber. He gets it back though, well done. Southport will just work their way out of this one. Clements has the footy right in front of us, and he'll just hold it up and wait for the next option.
Well, one thing that we haven't talked about is the fact that Southport have been 2 players down effectively. And Shears and also Roos have been off the ground for a long time. Clayton now got it from Davis. Dangerous inside forward 50, but that man who's been probably one of Redland's best again is Williams. Gives it to Yagmore, and Yagmore, that's a nice kick and finds Christensen. Always dangerous when he sees the ball, Christensen, but doesn't get enough of it. Just rolls out of the tackle, does rolls and gives it away to Dads.
Dads heads towards half forward. The kick is good. No mark taken there though from Payne. He tries to pirouette. Taken in a tackle. Southport have the numbers. Manteet feeds it back. They just run in waves, don't they, Southport? They've worked themselves into trouble with Mutu, who was tackled. It's now in dispute. Still in dispute. Fife couldn't really feed that out. And we'll have a stoppage. But as I was saying, they work very well when they run in waves and 2s and 3s when they're up and going.
Yeah, that they do. And they've had to really earn it today. Just getting the better of Redland late. Ball with O'Sullivan. Kicks it back inside forward 50. Tape. Very reliable generally. Turner, just off one step, just roosts it. Yagmore and also Johnson's there. Johnson just slapped it his way. Trying to run onto it there was Clements. But emerging was Miller, who got it from Barnes. The kick wasn't wonderful. Through forward. And plenty of players. Corbett emerges. Baxter gets a handball under pressure from Howard. Getting back on it there is Rolls to Miller. Almost a little fumble there. Rees. He'll turn it over, and coming through was Clements, and it was a throw. So it will be a Southport free kick. They were willing to pay advantage if it went through for a goal, but it didn't. So it'll come back, and the beneficiary will be Ethan Reeves.
He's had a pretty good game today, Ethan Reeves, when he's been around the football. He has had an impact. Probably felt he's had more influence than his touches would suggest this afternoon.
Well, he's had, this will be touch number 20. So kicked the one behind, 8 kicks, 11 handballs. Gave it off to Murdoch, who absolutely tried to kick the cover off it and did a pretty reasonable job, but just ill-directed. So the margin out to 33 points now as Yagmore goes for the barrel up the middle.
Christensen couldn't take the mark, falls to Turner, to Mutu. Will send it back forward. Hancock couldn't take the mark. Falls now to Ford. Ford to Reeves. They have numbers on the outside. Hancock shoots. He's kicked it. Southport are just getting away with this one. Probably a margin they think would be more appropriate. It's 39 points the margin. 14-14. 104 to 10-5-65. We're well into time on final term.
Well, the man from South Australia, he's had a serviceable day, but I think Luke O'Sullivan has been pretty good as well in defence, but a return of 2 goals, 3 for the afternoon is not a bad one. If you're a forward, the 12 disposals, 6 marks, but his pressure at various times around the contest is, and that's a hallmark of what Southport are trying to build into this season. It's that real pressure and intensity around the contest, which would really please Stephen Daniels.
So back in the middle now, final stages of this one. Redlands would be disappointed with this final term. They had the game within reach, but they've just been blown away. Malone to Rolls, heads towards half forward. What can come from this foray? Comes off the hands, Goodall picks it up, goes to Hamilman. Can he kick a goal? He has. He's kicked it. That's 4 for the afternoon for Matt Hamilman. He brings it back to 33 points. 11-5, 71 to Redlands. Southport 15-14, 104. We've played about 27 minutes into the final term.
Well, they keep battling away, don't they, Redland? And they'll keep hanging in there as best they can. They've been outclassed when it's come down to it today. But, you know, Matt Hamilman doesn't need many opportunities, does he? 4 goals. He's the leading goal kicker in the NEFL for season 2018 so far. And if he does, he'll depose, for the season at least, the great Darren Ewing. So it's a big effort on Matthew Hamilman's part for Redlands so far as the ball back in the middle. Just trying to come through there was Wilkinson. He came up a little bit shy. Murdoch couldn't take it with him. Clark goes long. Wilkinson's there, and that was a bit crude on Howard, and he'll be very sore with that. Ball, big handball right back in the middle. Yagmore kicks it long, goes over the top of the contest. There is Payne, goes on the left, around. That's a absolute beautiful left foot. It's all too late in the contest. But Payne, that's 3 for the afternoon for him, and the former Magpie and Brisbane Lion. That'll be one for the highlight reel.
It certainly will. They kicked 7 between them, Payne and Hamilman. They'll be pretty happy with that output. It was a sensational shot at goal, a little bit too late, but it's not a case of there's nothing Redlands can take out of today. There's a lot of positives. They just need to learn how to win. I've said this during the coverage. They just don't quite have the class to get over these top sides, unfortunately, for them at this stage.
So 28.5 minutes gone in this last quarter. Redland have kicked the last 2 to narrow the margin to 27. The result won't change. It's just how many points it's going to be.
Exactly.
We are closing in on the final stages of this game. Be some very tired bodies out there. Underneath it was Turner. In a little bit of a run at it was Malone. Southport will take the ball away. This is through Clayton. Reeves was involved in there as well. Goes down deep. It's a 2-on-1. But the one gets around. I think it was the old 3-card trick. I'll tap you on the shoulder this way. I'll run around the front of you, and then I'll stand tall which Wade Hancock did, and that is a very intelligent way to play your football.
He's had a sensational final term, hasn't he, Hancock? He's lining up here for his third, and pose the question, when was the last time Southport were on top in the NEAFL competition?
It's got to be quite a few years ago. And certainly at this stage, halfway through the season, you'd suggest it's at least 7 or 8 years when they were an absolute powerhouse. Hancock sprays it. Disappointing finish, and that's probably one area that today he hasn't been able to really achieve. 2 goals 4 now, so that's not where he's at as Yagmore goes down the middle.
It's an absolute barrel of a kick, however, there's a sea of sharks there. Tape couldn't get it off their hands, but Southport will still get it. Clark has it now. Hand pass was quite frankly terrible. Salter tries to get rid of it. Reeves will come in for the Bombers, and they'll just surround it. Realistically, this margin probably could be more. I mean, 15-15 that's a lot of shots, but later in the year they're going to want to polish that up and make it 20-10 or 19-11.
Generally speaking, they've been good so far this year. In front of goal, ball to half forward. Yagmore will be there first, just handballs the ball away. This is Light. Gives it away. The handball, or the kick, I should say, goes to Lyons. Lyons. Looks a bit awkward when he kicks the ball. Just hunches over it a little bit, but that one was really effective and finds Jackson Payne. He'll load up, look for Hamilman. Hamilman comes out to meet it and takes the mark. So the Twin Towers combining on that occasion to form a shot for goal. This will test Matthew Hamilman. Said he's been perfect today in front of goal. He's had one shot that didn't make it, and the rest, it's been 4 straight. So 4 for Payne. Well, Champion Data have Payne down for 4 and 4 for Hamilman. And from 38 metres out, Hamilman shoots for goal, and that is a very, very nice goal from Matthew Hamilman. A handful it is, a bag officially. Too little, too late for the Redland Bombers. But nice work from Matthew Hamilman this afternoon.
He kicked 5 in round 1. He's kicked 5 in their second meeting this year. He has been a shining light for the Bombers. There's no doubt about it, of course. Was signed last year. He is leading the NEAFL goal-kicking competition. After today, he's got 38 goals in 10 games, which is a pretty good return.
You don't sneeze at that, do you?
No.
As a key forward in the competition. Well, I think the days are gone where we're going to see 100, 120 goals in a season, just the way the game is played these days. But a good return from Hamilman as Reeves goes forward. And the end of the game is signalled by the siren here at Scottsdale Park. The final margin is 22 points, which has beautiful symmetry because that was the margin in round 1 when these two sides met. And the victor remains the same, the Southport Sharks.
They were gallant today, Redlands, but just couldn't quite get over the top. Southport, not as good as they were last week against Sydney Uni, but they'll, to be honest, just be happy to get away with the victory. They're 7-3. They haven't been in this position for a long time. They can, with a couple more wins, start looking towards the finals. And I tell you what, they'll be happy down there at Frankhauser Reserve.
Yeah, that they will. Live ladder. See Southport on top of, in first position now. They'll leapfrog Sydney University, who lost today to Aspley. And at the moment, Aspley have leapt up to 4th, while the Sydney Swans sit in 3rd spot after their very dominant win over the Gold Coast Suns today, who dropped to 8th position. With a game to come as well, the Canberra Demons, they can actually leap up to equal 4th or 5th on percentage tonight with a win over the NT Thunder. And the Thunder, if they can get over Canberra in the chilly conditions down in Canberra, there's a chance for them to jump up a couple of spots as well. But here at Scottsdale Park, it was 22 points the margin in favour of the Southport Sharks. Some of the better players in your view today, Riley?
Well, I thought no doubt about today. Hancock in that final quarter was very influential. He probably helped win them the game. If we look at the statistics, Davis I thought was very good. He had 28 touches. Clayton had 30. He was just a consistent performer, but probably Manteet for mine was best on ground. He just always impacted the contest in a positive manner. No doubt about it. How about yourself?
Yeah, for me, I like the game of Adrian Williams, for Redlands. I thought he was very good. Hamilman, I thought trying very hard in the middle was Jack Rolls. James Barnes, I thought was pretty good. Jonah Lyke, I thought at half-back, did a wonderful job on Mitch Johnson. And for the Victors, Josh Clayton, I think he had a little bit of a quiet patch, but he still managed to rack up 30 disposals. Manteet, I thought, was influential with 24 and a couple of goals. Reeves was very serviceable. And also I thought at various times that Charles Worth was good down back. And Murdoch and Dale, they're good players. They're good players. And I think Southport are filled with good players, and they've got some good depth out there. So they're just huddling there, Southport, as the round 11 clash between these two sides comes to a close. We might wrap it up. It was Southport this afternoon by 22 points. Riley Stray, how'd you enjoy your first experience with NEFL?
Absolutely loved every second of it. Hope I get more.
Well, thanks for coming this afternoon, and thanks everybody for being with us here on NEFL TV. Thanks to our broadcast partner, Bar TV, and of course, the NEFL proudly sponsored by Elastoplast. Without them, we couldn't bring the coverage to you each and every week. Look out for the a little more coverage of the NEFL each and every week on NEFL TV. And for now, from myself, Mark Kennedy, and also Riley Stray, thanks for joining us, and farewell for this afternoon.